they were soccer enthusiasts, not a commentator who has been put there because they played soccer.
Yes.
There's a difference between somebody who has played soccer and someone who is a soccer enthusiast who's actually a commentator.
But how do you know that? Do you speak Spanish from Mosh? Because Telemundo is a Spanish network.
Bruh, you can tell. There's a tonal connotation.
Yes.
The way it comes across, the way those things are, okay, other than the guy of goal, right?
Yeah.
Other than that guy, even the way those jamas are like, these jamas are hurrying up. Nini. You don't even have to put the thing on a closed caption. Vitu wanasema.
Yeah.
You can tell through the energy. Yes, the energy of the broadcasters. Like the way, like them, they are into it. It's like they are the ones who are on the field.
Yeah.
It's like the guy who's like, like when we used to listen to Leonard Mamon Botella on radio, as we knew, we were the ones who were playing ball. You couldn't tell us differently.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying, is that it's the commentators, the American commentators, or the people who they're putting like on those ninis, who are missing it. Now, the pundits, when you come back to guys like Henry and
Ibrahimovic.
yes, and Zlatan.
Yeah.
Right on the money. And Nani normally doesn't mince his words, but he's 9 times out of 10, he's right on point.
Who's Zlatan?
No, Henry.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, he's right on point. Then there's always a neutral person, blah, 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 right? But he's always, because he's coming from a soccer perspective, a guy who's been out there, who has played, and he's imagining he's the one who's in the field and has to make decisions on the fly. And that comes across when he's commentating. So I think like that part got lost to us. It's almost like these jamas were trying to give you a technical book presentation as opposed to, we are all fans and we are watching the game.
We're watching the game, yes.
And that's how we've been used to watching soccer. Maybe it's our experience that may be different from what quote-unquote Americans have. But if you're being given this platform, then to me, you're doing us a disservice when you're coming across as being pro-America, and then you don't know what the ham sandwich you're talking about, and everything's about those things in front of you.
The stats.
Yeah. It's all about, this Jama has scored CG hasn't Mr. Pena and CG, I don't know what, CG. Soccer enthusiasts, we don't care about that stuff.
Yeah, those things are good with games like basketball, where they read history.
We don't care.
Yeah.
As we want to see goals, we want to see mtu akichengwa, mtu akipigwa chobo, mtu akipigwa kanzu. You know what I'm saying? And an occasional nati hapa mtu amekanyagwa. That's a soccer player, aka a soccer watcher.
Okay.
And whether you're actually on the field playing or you're not, this is, to me, that I think is, they lost a lot of people, I think, in the way they were broadcasting. And I think this question also would be good to ask of our audience who are in different countries, not in America.
Yes,
to see what the experience was, because I'm sure, like, let's say if you're in Brito, what's that channel that they normally watch on? What is it again?
Sky.
It's Sky.
Yeah. Sky Sports.
The commentators for those commentators would probably come from a totally different perspective.
Yes.
In terms of how they are laying those things in versus, our people who are on Fox and doing it. There was like a loss in translation. Like you literally could watch the game by turning the volume off. Literally.
Yes.
Because it's like you're not missing anything. In fact, if anything, wanakuharibia ball.
Okay, aya sawa. Wacha tusikie perspective ya Mika Och on the coverage. Mika, karibu sana. And again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Show proudly brought to you by the Kenya Nurses Association of America. They have a big nursing conference on September the 17th. To the 19th in Baltimore, Maryland. So we're going to post the details in the comments below. Make sure you plan to attend. Mika Och, karibu sana. Talk to us about the coverage of the 2026 World Cup from your perspective. Mika, twende kazi.
Hi, thank you, Ali, and thank you to the listeners. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this Friday. For me, I want to add on what Omosh said. Omosh said something about the stats and how the talking of the World Cup is happening. And I don't know if you guys have seen a meme of Stevie Nesmith going around that he doesn't know anything, right? Like you figure if you feel like mainstream media were lazy in learning and knowing more about football, getting to understand the players, getting to understand the history. You get somebody who calls himself the best sports analyst in America, doesn't even know that France have ever won the World Cup. He was like, right now, we want to see if Mbappe is motivated enough to make France to finally get, like, that was embarrassing. And this is somebody who's representing a very big, major media house. So it was so, it how do I say it? It was something that if it's up to you, if you're running a media house like ESPN at that particular time, it makes you start wondering, like, this is my top analyst. This is somebody who's supposed to be on top of it. Like, with all the resources that ESPN has, surely somebody like Stephen A. Smith has to be able to know how to speak about football. Another thing that I feel that they missed is capturing the atmosphere of how the different foreign fans are interacting and living within the communities that they're living with. Like, it's been a discovery. You see on the internet, you see on Twitter, you see on Instagram, TikTok, you see European, Asians, South Americans, Africans documenting their journey about America, documenting how they had a different perspective about America based on what they've seen on the media, what they've seen on TV, what they've seen on movies. And they're realizing that it's just different. They're like, the America we see is not the America we're experiencing when you're traveling. They're discovering gas stations that have supermarkets in them. They're discovering food that they never thought existed. They're discovering the kindness of how people are offering their homes, opening their doors to them, helping them and accommodating them and interacting with them. When they go to various bars, various communities, how they're mingling in comfortably. That is something that the media should be showcasing more. And that actually is something that sells the country, the image of the country, which looks so horrible right now. We are tired of seeing Trump and all these shenanigans. We know what's happening. So this was a miss by that mainstream media. That is something that you will ask yourself. You have the biggest tournament in the world. Football is a uniting sport. Why don't you take advantage of that? Back to you, Ali.
All right, thank you so much, Mika. And it's been very weird, because, like when World Cups, of course, are in all these other countries, and whenever we are watching the media, there's a very different feel to this World Cup. And I'm at a personal level, I think I'm disappointed because I've not been able to go watch any games. For many reasons, it was a very opposite expectation.
Sema tu pesa yako haikutosha.
I mean, of course, pesa haikutosha.
Okay.
Na pia, we did not get games in the DMV, and let me say,
I think we are spoiled in the DMV.
Yes, and let me say, at a personal level, maybe I just did not plan right for it, and also there was a lot of controversy surrounding the World Cup coming to the US, and yeah, it is what it is. If a miracle happens, maybe I might go watch a quarterfinal game or a semi-final game, or even a third place playoff.
Quarterfinal ni kesho tu.
Yeah, quarterfinal ni kesho tu, so maybe semi-final na third place
kama
playoff.
una tiketi ya kwenda Atlanta or what's the other one? It's not Miami, is it Dallas?
No, Miami will be third place playoff. That will be the third place.
I know
playoff.
there's a game in Atlanta.
Ticket ya Dallas na
LA.
But see, we know people in Dallas.
No, si kesho si Atlanta ama ni
wanasema za
semi-finals.
Oh, you are no, Ali alisema quarters.
Quarter, that's their
Yeah,
and then, the funny thing is this: people have said that when they walk up to the stadium, they found cheaper tickets than what's online. Yes.
When they walk up to the stadium.
Ukienda kwa stadi hapo wanapata cheaper tickets than what's online.
Si basi we go to Dallas because we know people in Dallas. At least we'll get accommodation.
Kama ukikosa ticket utaingia fan zone.
Yeah.
Oh, got you. So either way, you're getting an experience.
So either way, it's a win-win. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay. All right. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Now, getting back to, the games, how would you rate, like Africa's performance? I mean, of course, we were able to see quite a number of teams out of the 10 teams that participated go to the round of 16. And then after the round of 16, then something happened right there. Mika, like before we go to Omosh, how do you rate Africa's performance, like from in this World Cup overall?
Sensational. Sensational. There was a lot of talk. There was a lot of bad blood, right? There was a lot of complaints. Oh, those African teams don't deserve to be there. They should have given those slots to European teams because you had some big European names who are performing badly and couldn't qualify. And they felt like they deserved to be because of their past experiences. And that's a team I like and I support, Italy. But I was so pissed off by them, assuming because they're 5-time champions, they deserve to just walk into the World Cup. No, fix your system. If your system doesn't work, it doesn't work. And the African teams that came here showed that they belong. They came with merit. Like, no team got an easy game from an African team. None.
That's true.
South Africa, apart from South Africa's first game,
Yeah.
and they redeemed themselves. Like, they really redeemed themselves, and they redeemed themselves until they qualified to the round of 32. This was an exceptional World Cup by the African teams. And let's be honest, look at what Cape Verde did. Egypt, you feel that Egypt didn't deserve to lose that game. Morocco, they just met the best team in the tournament. You really can't say anything. Like, African teams were sensational. Apart from Senegal, who pissed me off because I feel like Senegal should have won most of their games. I can't be mad. Ivory Coast were good. Ghana were good.
DRC.
They tried the best they could do. DRC was sensational.
Above
DRC
sensational.
Were knocking out England. Like, for me, the scorecard for Africa, out of 10 teams, 9 advanced to the next round. Ali, we got an A.
But now, what is it, because we had only one team make it to the quarterfinals, and that's Morocco. What is it that maybe African teams need to do better when it comes to protecting late leads? Because we lost multiple games through late goals. So was it just coincidence, or is there something tactically that African teams may have been doing wrong? Because this happened to, I think it happened to Senegal, it happened to Egypt, and I think it also happened to DRC. DRC, I can't remember when England scored against them, but late goals, cost us, positions in the quarterfinal. Mika.
I will comment about Ivory Coast and Senegal. Bad coaching. That was bad coaching. Literally bad coaching. The substitutions that we made, we take out our strongest midfield players, our midfield lose shape, we concede goals. Simple as that. Egypt, refereeing decision, lack of concentration, and magic. Magical moments.
Mika, would you add mental into that?
These players are pros. They play in Europe. They're not local players. So it's bad coaching.
Even Senegal? I mean, Senegal, I see the bad coaching, actually. I see, I see that,
Senegal was the worst coaching. Forget even bad coaching.
Mane should never have come out, in my opinion, but what do I know?
Forget Mane. What's the name of that midfield of theirs? The one that they took and it just opened a gap into the hole. That was the worst coaching decision ever.
I don't know. I don't remember that guy, but yeah. I know that some of the coaches made some very, very questionable calls. with their subs. And you have five. You have five substitutions. I think. See, back in the day, it used to be 3.
It used to be, it used to be 3. It was switched to 5.
Yeah. So 5 is a lot.
Yeah, it was switched to 5. So I think now, like squad depth,
that's like half
matters
the team.
More. Yeah, it's like half the team. So squad depth matters more, especially if the game is going to extra time and going into penalties.
Correct.
It becomes, a very big factor. Now, the other thing that maybe I want to come to you, Mosh, is African supporters. Mm-hmm. We are often reluctant to believe that FIFA will treat our teams fairly. Why does this happen? Because in every World Cup, utasikia tuna complain, the refereeing, FIFA treatment. Why do you think this, keeps repeating itself?
Well, this starts from our locals. If you go back to CAF and then, how things open up within, say, like AFCON and then like CAF and all of that. And then like now you roll up to FIFA, because FIFA pretty much is overall. FIFA is, he's the father of all these other small little things.
Yeah.
So normally what we have seen traditionally is that the teams like your Egypts, your Moroccos, your Tunisia, Algeria's, they seemingly get better treatment than the other folks. But the other thing you also have to remember is in these organizations, who do they have who are in leadership? It's all guys from those countries. Always. It's never like a loose Nigerian guy or a loose Kenyan guy or a loose Nini. Even when you are seeing the guys who are sitting there who are FIFA officials, who you are seeing Wenger over there, I don't know, you are seeing who, but you are not seeing any of us. We don't have
We're
them.
not represented there.
They're not there. So if they're not there, they can't basically fight for you guys. Even the fact that we got this additional places for our teams, and you see how our teams did. It's like folks were not expecting us to do anything, so they could then come back and say, you know what, nyinyi hamkufanya poa, so now the next World Cup tutatoa hizo position. You see?
Yeah.
But now you can't say that, and then we come with the flair of our fans and all of that. But the bottom line of it is that we don't have representation, so we don't have people who are basically agitating for us. And then when we see the rules or calls or things that happen on the field, how the refs are blowing, or how how a linesman, the fouls that are being allowed for you guys versus the other team, or the ones that are being called, you're like, okay, wait, that's the same foul that this guy did on our chap and he wasn't called. Ref didn't even look that way, neither did linesman. Then you're like, okay, were these guys instructed before they came out? It looks that way, So again, if it quacks, and it looks like a duck, it's a duck. So,
okay.
And that's what we are seeing. So to me, if we get more representation on those higher grounds, it will make sense. And the other thing that you noticed, we also don't have a lot of our referees on the field.
Wow, that's something I never did.
We don't.
I did not quite think about.
We do not have a lot of people who are the color of you and I on that field. They're not that many.
Okay.
And it's very, very hard to get to that level. And then see what happened to our chap who came and he was told, toka ukiendanga. Yeah. So if you can make political decisions, what's going to stop you from making decisions when a brown envelope possibly could pass? Because we know they're passing.
Yeah. Now, with, now, Mika, back to you. With, for example, the alleged call that President Trump made to FIFA President Gianni Infantino, and a suspension of an American player was lifted. But Belgium, protested the decision, but it was never reversed. And the US anyway ended up losing to Belgium. Now, people were comparing this to what FIFA did for Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes.
But that was in the qualifiers.
Totally
different.
It hasn't happened inside the World Cup. Yeah, so I think that's a justification that Americans were bringing in, saying it's not the first time.
Here's the thing, and I think that we'd have to go back and check the facts. This thing wasn't suspended. It wasn't. What did you say it was?
It was lifted. The suspension.
It was lifted, but they go ahead, Mika.
I don't know what you're trying to say. The thing is that it makes FIFA looks bad. Yeah.
Correct.
And there's no other explanation to it. And that is why right now Infantino is under pressure from all these other federations. So it's going to be a big problem. And it's really like the World Cup has proved to a lot of people that Infantino somehow has thought that he's also a world leader, like a president or something like that. So he assumes how he runs the thing. FIFA is corrupt. This World Cup was a corrupt World Cup. It was a World Cup that was promised to America after America prosecuted FIFA, and FIFA promised a certain amount of money. That is why they were able to charge these prices, and they had a justification because they were told, based on the value-based pricing in America, you can charge whatever is the market going for big games, and they equated it to the Super Bowl. Well, that's how they were able to charge it to charge those prices, or the Sec balls, or the college balls. So they had a justification. It's a market value. So if you ask FIFA, they didn't overcharge. But FIFA is known to provide football to the grassroots. This wasn't the grassroots. This was a money grab. So when it comes to refereeing decisions, we see it in the Premier League. We see it in the Champions League. Sometimes a player's reputation can owe a referee, and the referee can be favorable towards a certain player because of their reputation, how they are, or a certain team, right? They're champions, they're supposed to be this, so their referees will always, it's seen, there's some favoritism. It's human
Correct,
beings. Yeah. There's never 100%. So when it comes to the African teams, it's easy to discriminate against them, right? Because when they're playing a certain team, they're playing a team that has stars. There's a Hurricane, there's a Messi, there's a Ronaldo, there's a who versus, your biggest star is Mane, but Mane, Hurricane Mane, I know, I'll go to Hurricane, right? So there's that. Well, that bias racism, that old boy racism who just sits inside certain people who I will favor people who look like me more than people who don't look like me. And then the regular corruption that's there, how does it look for money? Remember, these games are money. Remember when Portugal were kicked out and America were kicked out, prices went down.
Prices went down, like when the US was kicked out, and I think also prices went down after Portugal lost. Yeah, prices significantly went down. So clearly,
so there was no way Messi was leaving this World Cup.
So hapo unaona kuna
vile
ile game
kuna vile
ile game ni kama tu game ya France na nini na Paraguay. Man, Paraguay didn't play football. Walikuwa wanacheza reso.
So were they trying
alafu hawakupata yellow hata moja. France ndo walipata ile game yenye France walifunga pena ile hapa.
Yes,
France was supposed to lose that game.
Oh, so France was supposed to be bundled out of the tournament.
Yes. Like angalia hiyo game. France walikula yellow ngapi? Paraguay hawakupata yellow hata moja. Alafu angalia zile fall. But France walikuwa wanapigwa mangumi. Literally people were being punched. As in, it's quite easy to see how the dynamics of this World Cup is being set. Like, FIFA are so corrupt. They are so corrupt, they can't even hide it. The good thing is football always wins. That is the good thing about it.
Okay,
football always wins.
Yeah, wacha turudi hapa kwa studio, Mubelwa Bandio is also on the panel, amekuwa mkimya kidogo akiwa pale katika kazi yake ya fundi wa mitambo. So Bandio, talk to us, what has your experience been in this American World Cup? Is it as you expected, disappointed, excited? But where are you on the excitement trajectory?
I think all of them. is projected. Am I excited? I think I'm excited, not for the game though. Well, a little bit for the game, but more for what people are discovering. So I think it's more of a tourist side of it and cultural and what can I say, networking more than other stuff. Heading to the tournament, I could tell that there was not a lot of information in American
Media.
media compared to, so I had to go to other places, Sky, BBC, Telemundo, at least to get some ins and out. But as far as the game is concerned, I think yes, Africa, I felt like we did a lot, but imagine if we didn't have the number that we have. So the debate of number one, if you take Africa, we only had 10 teams?
10 teams, yes.
And then check the ratio of size and population between Africa and Europe had 16. It doesn't make sense at all. So if someone is complaining about Africa having 10 teams, this means Europe, they were supposed to have at least 6 or at most 7, because whether you compare number of people or size of the continent, we're like double or triple what they have. So that was one. About the game also, I can see, which I'm not sure if you're going to talk about it, but there's this thing of losing the identity of the game. Now, there's a pro and cons to that. We don't have samba soccer anymore because the Brazilian in a Brazil national team are pretty much playing in Spain and other places. So we lose identity. It's like there's CHAN and AFCON for Africa, right?
Yes.
You have Africa Cup of Nations, and then there's CHAN that only for local players. When you watch CHAN, you can see this is Kenyan style of playing because it's pretty much reflect their local league.
Their local league, yeah.
Okay, you'll be like, okay, this is Tanzania. Back then, we were like, this is samba soccer because it's from Brazil. This was just long balls because it's from Germany.
Yeah.
Now, the so-called development of soccer now eliminated that. But what it brought in is teams that were not able, or there's no league to their country, like Iran, like Haiti, So that opened up for the diaspora to represent their country, which is a good thing. But we're losing identity of the soccer. So I'm watching from that angle. Even all the discussion we're having, whether it was BBC, Radio 1, Deutsche Welle, I was not only into what was happening here, but is what did we gain and lose by allowing, one, more numbers of countries to participate. Two, having diaspora playing. I mean, was that Netherlands versus France, I believe? Did they play? Netherlands was playing another team that one of the players, actually two of the players, Netherlands, Morocco or something. Two of the players had played to the national team of the opposing country. Right, as under 20 or under 16.
As under 21, yeah.
You see, under 16. And then they realized, there's no way I'm going to make it to this national team. So, kwa nini nicheze kwa France if I can be Haitian? I mean, it's like 90% of players in Haiti, they're all born in France from Haitian parents. So you have that advantage that having, so I was able to see the development of soccer business while we're losing soccer identity. And to me, that was something to catch. But as far as soccer is concerned, I think it was a little excited to see some teams doing stuff. Cape Verde did what they did. But also, I think VAR kind of screw up the game a little bit. Other than that, I was in history side and networking side. It was fun to see all these people, even people from so-called developed country, and they were here shocked about what was happening. I was like, oh my God, is this the mall? Naambiwa kunywa juice is free. It's like, no, I don't have money. It's like free.
It's unlimited.
Yeah, it's unlimited. It's like, what?
You've paid for it.
Yeah. So, I think there will be a lot of things after July 19th.
Yeah.
We will look at so many things on, scoring, when you're going to go to the records, we're going to go to what would be who did what, especially when it comes to records, who was the oldest player to score, the oldest player to play, the person who scored so many goals in a short period of time, who missed so many penalties. There'll be a lot of records. But I feel like the game in general was either overshadowed by scandals, bad VAR decisions, Mr. Orange Man
Interference.
that was big one.
Yeah.
Corruption.
And corruption in
Yeah,
general.
in
But
fact,
one thing
Yeah.
ambacho sijaona sana, and I'm still working hard at angalau nione, is hii kitu naisikia kwa WhatsApp News Network ya matokeo yamepangwa ili fulani yawepo. That are still bado. I feel like what people are saying.
Yeah.
But I'm watching like game ya Misri.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to nani alipanga nini, vipi, and how.
No.
Nahitaji mtu anisaidie kunipa execution. How can that be?
No,
plan?
for the Egypt game, Bandio, the officiating was just horrible.
Right?
It was biased. It was biased towards one team.
Okay. How can that be planned though? Let's
No. The thing is this. The brackets are how the brackets fell, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot plan the brackets how they feel. It depends on how teams are going to perform. So the brackets are how the brackets feel.
Yes.
But then when the brackets fall, there is a way whereby, let's be honest, Portugal had been knocked out the day before. There was no way Argentina getting knocked out the next day. Those 2 goals by that game, everybody knew going to that game Argentina was supposed to win.
Wait, and you think hold on, Mika.
Changed the script of the day.
Mika, do you think they knew because Argentina or
no, they knew because Argentina were better.
Okay.
Were the better team,
okay.
right?
Right.
Argentina are a good team. Argentina was supposed to win that game easy.
Okay. Yeah.
Egypt came with other plans.
Yes.
And those other plans had to be changed.
Tell me more.
Look at the officiating of that game. Let's just see the
give me like an incident. Tuzungumzie goal ambayo ikataliwa.
An incident, Zizou's goal, which was denied, right?
Okay, tell me about it.
3 phases of play had already gone. It's usually the rule is the immediate phase of play before the goal. Not 3. It is the immediate.
Argentina didn't have possession of the ball, so that was extension of the ball that was won from a foul. So first,
okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Even if you look at that foul, that was not a foul.
I would disagree with that, but okay,
fine. If that was a foul,
that was a foul because Argentinian player was in possession.
If that was
of
a
the
foul,
ball.
what about Mo Salah's foul in the penalty box?
That one, the biggest problem I have with that is that it was never called. Okay.
On the field.
Okay.
But then the other one wasn't called also.
Yes, and the issue I have with that is just they review if even though they have to do that because it was called.
Yeah.
They have to do that. But
they have to review, yes.
Yes, but the fact that the referee did not call, I'm having a problem with this referee, not
another
the VAR.
thing, Bandio,
Yeah.
penalty calls have to be reviewed.
Yes.
So regardless of whether the ref calls it or not.
The ref calls the word, penalty calls have to be reviewed.
Okay.
Yeah, but
that wasn't wasn't reviewed. They didn't even look at it. They dismissed it. What's his name? Zizou was making a clear run. He was punched. He fell down. They took over the ball and Lisandro punched him. Akamka chini, Lisandro kachukua ball and they continued with an attack for it. That was a clear red card kwa sababu ilikuwa akibit Lisandro, he was clear on goal.
Okay, so let's say, for argument's sake, I also felt there was a lot of biased refereeing,
not only that match though.
No, not only that.
Officiating is the problem.
So there's been issues with
let's
officiating.
Let's first agree kwamba officiating kwenye his game
it has been a problem,
and I don't think kwenye ile game ilikuwa way higher than other games.
No, in that game it was actually way higher. Argentina, you see, every 50-50 Bandio, Argentina are getting away with every 50-50. And that is what I said, reputation of the team and reputation of the players makes you get away with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right? So Argentinian players could get walikuwa naingia kanyama na get away nayo.
So
Egypt akiingia kanyama anapigwa kadi.
Mika, Do you think officiating ilikuwa bad kwenye last 15 minutes au kwenye 90 or 75?
The whole game.
Okay, so what do you think it was worse in the last 15 minutes?
And then it got worse in the last 15 minutes.
And how do you think, or why did Egypt?
The one thing that made it actually worse in the last 15 minutes was that third goal. Iyo foul ya Mosala. That one. And then the other foul that was happened to Nani Hassam on the other wing. And he didn't do anything. Hassam alikuwa amelala chini. Remember, there were 2 shouts of penalties in that last 15 minutes of the game. When a cross was crossed over, alikuwa amehang, anaitwaje Romero akampiga kumbo.
Yeah. Okay, so let me try to maybe angle this differently. And actually, before that, a couple of comments here are coming in on Facebook from Stephen Bati Sambaza podcast. Anasema Mika is right. Argentina had to their end. I've been there with Argentina fans. They come 100, so it makes sense. It's a money game. I have enjoyed myself making memories with the kids and myself. FanFest. Libamba. Sambaza, please tell us if you're able to go into the stadium to watch any game.
See, and a special edition in Sambaza World Cup, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So tell us about your experience. Kama uliingia kwa stadium ama
apiga simu.
Yeah, because you had a game in your city. Number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Sambaza bado anasema Morocco versus France had players who are in the under 18 French team. Yes, majority of your team in Morocco, are people who were born and raised in France. And then bado anasema ambia bandio ni Cabo Verde, not Cape Verde.
Cabo Verde.
Cabo Verde, not Cape Verde.
Verde.
Yeah.
Verde ni wetu ni wa Afrika. Was a problem.
By the way, Bandio,
yeah.
Later in the show, I'm going to answer your question. The one you asked about diaspora.
Okay. Haya, sawa. Na Cabo Verde. Unajua Kiswahili tuna majina ya nchi tofauti za Afrika. But Cabo Verde huko Waswahili walikuwa hajafika because I've not had a Swahili name for Cape Verde. Hiyo hapo fanya utafiti kidogo tujue kama ipo, because we have quite a number of African countries that have Swahili names. Sijui kama Omosh unazijua, ziko nyingi sana.
I only know Misri.
There's also Mozambique. Msumbiji.
Yes. Msumbiji, I remember.
Like there's South Africa.
What's South Africa called?
Afrika Kusini. Yeah. There's
that's direction.
that's but it's the name of the country. So would you call mbona tuliposema South Africa, why didn't you say it's direction?
Boss. But hiyo ni direction bana.
Yeah.
You are cheating me bwana.
Comoros Islands.
I don't know what is Comoros Islands called.
Visiwa vya Komoro. Seychelles.
Yeah, maybe Seychelles. Yeah, Shelly.
Ushelisheli.
That one I didn't know.
Oh yes. Okay.
That one I definitely didn't know.
Okay.
What is Mauritius called?
Mauritius hiyo sijasikia kwa Kiswahili. Hiyo sijasikia.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, hiyo sijasikia kwa Kiswahili. Mauritius sijasikia kwa Kiswahili, but a lot of European countries also have Swahili names.
Ushelisheli Seychelles, si Mauritius. Nani amesema Mauritius ni Ushelisheli?
Nani amesema hivyo Mika sasa?
Sio Mosh.
Surely. Yani hata nawekewa vitu hata sijasema. Unaona vile huyu sasa ndio bad referee. Huyu
VAR.
Huyu ni Wasta.
Turushe VAR hapo.
Huyu ni Wasta. Ni reputation na amekuja nayo.
Okay.
Lakini pia tumuulize Sambaza, kwa nini wale wametumia Cape Verde instead of Cape Verde?
Because Cape Verde ni
kwa sababu moja ni Kiingereza, nyingine ni
Portuguese, Kireno.
Yes. And maybe they are recognizing the Portuguese side more than the English.
Yeah,
it's just
lakini
remember-
kwa nini ina maana ni sawa sana sisi tusemeje sasa, kwa sababu unasema
Because even
hawazungumzi
Turkey,
French,
see, even
wanaongea-
Turkey was
Sikia.
No, Turkey have
Mbona Morocco
changed
mnaita
to
Morocco
Turkey.
ingawa inaandikwa Morocco
Oh.
pale?
Yeah.
Unajua inakuwa ni referred Morocco. Kwa
Morocco,
nafikiri
yes.
katika kuielezea whether it's Cape Verde or Morocco bado inabaki katika
Na kwanza
audience.
Morocco kwa zile
Alafu,
jezi zao
unajua-
zilikuwa zimeandikwa, zile jacket wakiingia wakicheza zilikuwa zimeandikwa kwa Kiarabu but zimeandikwa Maghreb. Haikuwa
yes.
imeandikwa Morocco,
Yes,
ilikuwa imeandikwa
Maghreb.
Maghreb kwa Kiarabu.
So-
Yeah.
Lakini
Oh,
hayo referred
Unajua,
yes.
somebody told me that it's usually at the discretion of the media house vile wataamua kuaddress. That is why unaona kama France 98 Holland walikuwa naitwa sijui pass base, walikuwa na pass base ama
Payba.
pay-
No.
Paybas.
Payba.
Yeah.
Hiyo Payba is Payba is the name of Netherlands in French.
Yeah. So it's
Huh.
at the na hiyo World Cup ilikuwa covered by Canal France.
Yeah.
Kwa hiyo
So
yeah,
it's
ndio
Ndio
usually-
Payba ni
maana
kama vile
nataka-
les États-Unis.
nataka pia nimwambie Sambaza
usually at the discretion of the broadcasting house. So
unapozikava
hii
from
majina vile
Kenya kwanza kuita
wameamua
Cape
kuwaita
Verde.
ni Fox iliamua, si ati teams. Hiyo ni Fox ndio imeamua vile itaziaddress. So Fox ikiamua like wawaite hiyo na
Kwa hiyo Sambaza wewe ite tu Cape Verde basi.
na je Ivory Coast na Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
Again, it's at the discretion of the
so they
media
decided
house,
to use
how they
Ivory
want.
Coast instead
Yeah.
of Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if they decided. The media house did.
The media house.
Yes,
That's
the
what I'm
media
saying.
house
Yes,
did.
the media
Yeah.
house.
But I'm pretty sure katika France
But in other times
isingekuwa
we've seen it
isingekuwa Ivory Coast.
CIV. A lot of like in
No,
one
but the short version was
Short
CIV.
version, yes. Short, it was
yeah.
CIV.
is that what they also used this time?
Yeah, I think they
CIV?
use. I think they use CIV. Yes,
Okay.
they use CIV. Yeah. So hapo like
I'm wondering
confusion.
what,
That's why it's easy to just have a name like Kenya. Hakuna kusumbuana whether you're speaking French, German, Italian, Kiswahili.
Sasa-
ni Kenya
Lakini
tu
sasa
bado.
unajua shida ni Kenya, KBC waamua kuandika hapo Harambee.
Of course kwenye jezi inaweza ikaja hivyo.
Yeah, hiyo hapo sasa hiyo ni
Mika.
yeah. Now
Violence.
Sambaza hapa actually Afro-Jamaican Kaiser Soze is saying I don't understand how any black person cheers for Argentina and France. What do you guys think about that?
But what?
Now,
About he doesn't
What-
understand.
What are you cheering? Let's start with why are you
Yeah.
cheering for the team?
Yeah.
let him
So-
call
Are
it.
you cheering
know-
for? What are you cheering for the politics of
I
it?
can
For the
answer.
soccer?
I can try to answer.
Go ahead.
Based on how having various conversations with various fans. You have to understand that most of the people who support Argentina are Messi fans, not Argentina fans. Most of the black people you see were Africa. These
Got it.
Africans that you
Got
see,
it.
they're Messi fans. They're not Argentina fans, right? So the day Messi retires, Argentina is gonna lose a lot of support around the world.
Okay. So
So
people, these
Messi
are the
is
fun
the-
of the art of the game, and that's
Yeah.
what I like. And it's like mimi sina team, but I enjoy kwa sababu hata napoangalia
Yeah.
football, hata nikiangalia American football, sina team ambayo nasema kwamba this is the team, and I'm there for the art of soccer itself.
Yeah.
Na mimi kwangu kila kitu ni sanaa. All right.
Now
So
for
ukiniambia
France-
kwamba siwezi nikasapoti Marekani kwa sababu ya ukatili wa kitu fulani, I think you're dragging me outside why I enjoy the game.
For France, why people support France, right? Why a lot of
Africans.
Africans support France is because that team is
It's an
full
African
of
team.
Africans.
Yeah.
It's an African team. And then the one thing that you have to realize is that
Define African team.
all those kids are first, second immigrants of Africans.
First
First,
generation.
second generation. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
first or
African
second generation.
immigrants.
Yeah.
Okay.
African
Got it.
immigrants.
Okay.
And then another thing is that most of these kids come from the streets, from the immigrant ghettos are immigrants. So they have that tie. And then these kids don't forget where they're from.
N'Golo Kante.
They wear that blue jersey, but they have academies all over Africa. They get in touch with
They
the
re-
motherland. So
recruit,
so like they're in touch with their families back home and everything. So they still have that connection. There's that connection where people feel like these are our children and we have to support them.
But I
And
mean, can we use
now-
the same question and say, I don't understand why would a white person support support French?
Because it's a black
Because
team.
it's not only black team, but they invest in Africa and all this stuff.
That is actually a more genuine question. You'll be like, because if you can even ask Americans, why are you supporting the USA, right? Like,
you're gonna bring
your team is full
you're gonna
of
bring the number 20
Latinos.
No, wanaitwa aje watu wanafukuzwa birthright
immigrants.
Birthright kina
No. The whole team.
Balogun,
Wote
yeah.
walizaliwa huko kwa military base. Europe. Like some of them walizaliwa huko, like if you look at that team, it's actually kids who are not supposed to be here. Majority of that team, basically, if based on what
what was taken to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, based on what the current government wants, most of those, majority of that team should not be here. But then why should a red-blooded American who's not supposed to be mixed with anything else, why is he supporting go USA, go USA? Right?
Yeah, so
I mean, once we
some
put
of these things, you can separate as Bandia said,
and you have to. It's like if you don't, we're in trouble.
Of something from politics. Like, not everything has to be political.
Yeah, you know, I feel sometimes, you know, like people in sports and also in the entertainment industry, sometimes watu naweka, you know, like unnecessary and due pressure.
But we see that in so many stuff. Kwa nini umekwenda kwa Kenya? Kwa nini umemoa Mkristo, umemoa Muislam? Kwa nini umemoa mtu kabila hii? Kwa nini umemoa na hii? You see, to the point that they take away love out of that relationship na unamwangalia mtu externally. Huyu kwao walifanya hivi. Kwa nini umeoa Mnyarwanda na wakati kwao waliua mtu fulani? But na connection na love na this person, you know. And to me it's the same thing. Once we take away the real reason, me first I'll ask myself, why do I watch? Why am I watching World Cup? Why do I love soccer? Is it because of the political connections? Nikilo walifanya, how they build their stuff? Ukirudi nyuma ukiangalia, you won't even be able to enjoy it.
But unajua Bandio, my theory, we live in a very angry world.
True.
Yes. Watu yani na si watu, yani ni sisi sote.
We are ready.
Watu mekasirika sana because of a lot of things happening in the world.
Yes.
So sometimes tunatafuta kitu chochote. Yani mimi nimekasirika. Alafu nimeona Bandio umepita hapo, umevaa labda jezi ya a country where I don't agree with the politics. Kagera. Wacha hata Kagera. Tuseme she's Tanzanian. Tuseme umevaa jezi ya Germany. Na maybe Germany walikuwa wana attack immigrants.
Nazis.
And then you got me on a bad day. I'm a South Africa.
That's what you know.
No, but you know, the anger to South Africa makes sense because it's ongoing, right?
But why does it make sense, Mika?
No, it makes sense because it makes sense because if you see a Ghanaian, if you see a Nigerian, right, complaining about it, if you see other African countries complaining about it, especially if you're an immigrant and you know the struggles of immigrants, and then you see that people are trying to forcefully and what's happening, you kind of understand the anger of people.
Mika, let's talk about that. Unajua kwamba you can, like, even if they wanted, even if those players were against whatever was happening,
no,
they are
I'm not talking but you're getting me wrong. I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about the fans. I'm talking about people.
No, but people were going against the team.
No, I'm not saying
the fans.
The fans were going against the team. It's like me wearing that's like, why would you support that team? You know what I mean? Like these people, but the team they're not even allowed to talk about their politics.
Okay, the team here was an innocent bystander. Walikula strays za makosa ya baba mtoto akaumia.
True.
Right?
Yes.
That is what happened. The team ilikula strays za the whole country, like for South Africa. Ilikuwa ni South Africa tutaki. Hata kimuziki sahi wanakuwa cancelled. Nobody's booking South Africa.
Yeah, their shows are being cancelled left, right, and center.
Like it's hurting them everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Hao pia wanakula strays. Like hawajafanya kitu. Hakuna msanii amesema ati immigrants wafukuzwe, lakini wasanii wanakanseliwa show. So hiyo ni makosa ya baba inatesa mtoto. That's what's happening in that situation right now. But then you see why now these people are mad, because it's a continuous anger that's going on. Now, if we move to other countries, if we move to other places, yes, the French have been bad to immigrants. The French colonized Africa and did a lot of bad things to Africa. The same thing as the British, right? But then people have been watching the EPL, have been watching League A, have enjoyed the entertainment. Football is what's keeping them sane when they follow the Premier League and these other leagues, Champions Leagues. And then you come to the World Cup, the biggest sporting showcase. You want to tell them to abandon their heroes that they support in their clubs because of some politics that doesn't even affect them? That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You have to allow people to enjoy their outlets.
Okay, sawa. We're gonna try to fix it. I know a number of people are trying to call. We're gonna be fixing that shortly. And then hapa Washeke alikuwa anauliza Ureno ni wapi. I'm sure Washeke, you know where Ureno is. Usiniambie ujui.
At one point she said she wasn't
yeah,
Portugal.
at one point you said you were in that country. Ureno ni Portugal.
Atish is Moreno.
No, ni Ureno. Ureno ni Portugal, and actually there's a number of Swahili words that are borrowed from Portuguese. Yes,
because words, of wale kukuja na kublend na sisi.
Si kublend. They actually were the worst form of colonizers.
Okay, they were the first colonizers.
Well, they were worse than the British. So let's not go there.
No, because you're right, and we see them in Fort Jesus, for example, right? That plan of Fort Jesus is a replica in any place where those Jamas landed. Go to Jamaica,
Portuguese,
Ghana, Senegal.
They have them.
Yes, they have them,
and they're all the same.
But unajua, the one problem now Fort Jesus ya Kenya, Fort Jesus is a place that's celebrated. It should not. It is a monument of shame.
Yeah.
It is a monument of shame.
Correct.
Unaona kama vile ukienda Gori.
The back end history, yes.
You're
a lot of
people,
right.
A lot of people in Kenya, like even the artifacts that they've put there, they do not know that that's a place where like Africans were being tortured. And being being shipped out and being killed for a lot of different reasons. Ukienda kwa zile za Ghana na za Senegal, it is clear that those are monuments of shame. But Fort Jesus, it's kind of treated, Vasco da Gama is treated like some kind of hero.
It's how we were taught in school.
Yes.
We were taught to celebrate Fort Jesus. Like we were taught to celebrate. Like even most people don't understand that how the Portuguese ruled these new worlds.
Yeah.
It was, first of all, they convinced the rulers to become Catholic, and anybody who wasn't Catholic was killed. As simple as that.
Yes. So one thing, well, they used to force people to convert to Catholicism, but kuna some areas walishindwa, like in like on the Kenyan coast, they were there for 150 years, but they killed so many people.
Correct.
But hiyo ni story another day. We have a caller. I think we have more than one caller. We're going
for now one caller. 2059. Hello. Okay.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Welcome to the One Mic Show.
And reduce your volume. We can hear it in the background.
Yes, reduce us. The show on the
I think the caller has snoozed.
No, because it was not connected. So probably he was listening.
Hello.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. And reduce the volume in the background.
I can't hear you. I know you guys called me, but I can't hear you now. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay, just hold on there for a moment.
Line unmuted.
Oops.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, man. Kaiser Soze, Alpha Jamaica from Canada, man.
All right. Been a long time since we had you on the show. Talk to us, Afro-Jamaican.
What's going on, bro?
So, I'm not really a soccer fan, but seeing all these African teams got me very excited. I'm not going to lie. It got me very excited. And I'm looking at it from a business standpoint. Is it true that the African Cup is going to be in Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda next year?
Of course.
Yes.
I think it's going to be in June. It's around the same time, June and July. Yeah,
so why am I not seeing massive advertisement? And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm hearing people who didn't know where Ghana was or Kenya was saying, hey, what's the other one? Cabo Verde. Didn't know where they were. Saying, no, these teams are not bad. And I say, oh, there's an African Cup. And they go, really? I'm like, yeah. Next year, big thing in 3 countries. So I'm like, where do I get more information? But there's not much information out there. I think I think these countries are missing out on a great opportunity.
What? What?
So,
You're talking about the African countries?
AFCON.
Yeah, he's talking about AFCON, but also
but then
2030 will be hosted in Morocco, Portugal, and Spain.
Yeah.
Yes.
The World
So
Cup.
the World Cup 2030
Because
also will be
it's
in
a
Africa.
centenary. It's 100 years.
Yeah, but you have to know that the federations do control the narrative on how they advertise the competitions, and they cannot start pushing AFCON when the World Cup was not
Going on,
completed.
yes.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
so once the World Cup is
It's
over,
over, then we'll start seeing.
then CAF will start pushing more about AFCON. Yeah, so you have to give each competition time to
Right.
go. Like, you will never see the Euros being pushed while there's CONMEBOL, there's CAF, there's Asia Cup, or whatever the tournament it is. That is why you find that those tournaments will never have a calendar
They will
overlapping.
never overlap.
Yeah, so it's.
But you know what I saw, though?
There's
I
nothing
saw
about the
Tanzania
countries.
advertising
about the
all when
countries
people are
not taking
asking,
advantage. It's about
especially like people at work know that I love Africa. Where is Tanzania? And I'm like, oh, they have this, they have the Serengeti, they have this. People are like, really? So Tanzania did like a 1-week marketing blitz, and I think it worked.
No, Tanzania has always been very good at marketing the
You
tourism.
know, they had the entire team. They had the entire team here called Tanzania Unforgettable. So they're giving away the T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, I think they did.
No,
they did quite
Tanzania,
well.
when it comes to advertising for tourism, I think Tanzania has done a very good job.
Even
There was-
with the things Sulu did.
there was
Remember
a-
the documentary she did?
the
That's not
documentary
good,
she
yeah.
did, and then there was also there was a time when Tanzania was advertising at the Seattle Seahawks stadium, and even I remember, I can't remember this cornerback's name. Is he called Sherman? He was talking. There was something called the Tanzania effect that everybody in the Seattle Seahawks knew because of this big advert for Mount
And
Kilimanjaro.
I think Wilson
that
Russell
was in the
goes
stadium.
to TZ every year.
Yes.
yeah,
They-
and
they
they also
did.
had a program. I think was it on CNN or somewhere? They did advertise.
But let's not
themselves.
talk about it because
Yeah.
you're now in the
But
case
then-
nyingine.
Yeah.
The thing is
I
this.
have so many-
The thing is this. The thing is this. That I wanted to respond to that is that, you know, sometimes we do blame these countries about how they're marketing themselves and how they're and people not knowing about them. But then there's also something called interest. A lot of Americans just don't have interest with things outside of America or Canada or like a lot of North America.
But we just learned that there's so many people in even England and all these countries who really thought they had interest and they knew a lot about US, and they, you know, we just found out that they didn't.
They didn't,
The
yeah.
things were
So-
surprised. It was like easy for Google.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a thing about what we assume we know about a place and then the reality of that place. It's just you getting the interest of getting to know how you want. Like, if you find people who like traveling, it's because they start gaining an interest of such places. And that's why you ask somebody, how the hell did you end up in that jungle? And they're like, I just researched it and it was interesting to me and I wanted to come here.
Okay. All right. But I want to go back to Afro-Jamaican to understand, you know, like why he loved so much the Argentinian and the French team. He loved them so much that he was wondering, you know, like why Africans are not watching them. Afro-Jamaican.
You know, I wouldn't say I'm a black nationalist because I don't think I'm there yet. I'm a Pan-African. I love black people. I love Africa. And I cannot understand. If you're illiterate and you don't know anything, I get it. But anybody who can read a book, any African can support Argentina. Like, you know what they did to black people? I don't understand. And especially Jamaicans. Jamaicans have this love for Argentina and they know what happened. I just don't understand. what's the word? The level of cognitive dissonance needed is unbelievable. How
Wait.
can you?
Wait, you're saying Jamaicans love Argentina? They love the soccer team, or they love the country?
Yeah, they love Argentina.
Oh my goodness!
Jamaicans love Argentina. I think more than Kenyans.
So it has nothing to do with Messi and the Messi effect?
They've always loved Argentina before Messi. From I was a boy, I'm 50 years old.
But
From
Maradona.
Maradona.
From Maradona.
For Jamaica, remember Maradona, but it's Tuta.
Gabriel.
Caniggia.
Batigo.
Caniggia.
Yeah. So
and France, the way they still treat us. I just don't understand it. Portugal is the same. I don't pay any attention to those ones, but France and Argentina just irritate me because what they've done, of course Belgium too, but what they've done and France still does, and I'm like, really? I don't get it, man.
What about the Canadian team? I've not heard you talk about the Canadian team. You had a couple of games in Canada. I'm sure.
Did you go?
I'm sure you're dressed
Did you go to
in
the
all
fan
red.
zone? Were you wearing red and white and singing?
You're wearing, like your Maple Leaf T-shirt. Tell us about that experience.
Listen. I expect to lose every match, so I'm not going to even go there whatsoever. I was hoping the Ghanaians would have done better. Cabo Verde, I was really, I'm not a soccer fan, but I was really, really impressed. And I know you said that, I think Lisa was saying that some people don't know enough travel. I guarantee Cabo Verde's tourism for the next maybe.
Oh yeah, that one is already overbooked.
Significantly more than it was. 100%.
Okay, all right. So
there's even a direct flight from, I think, either Rhode Island. There's a direct flight actually.
Yeah.
What direct flight from some obscure airport somewhere in Rhode Island, one of those small states that was direct to Cabo Verde. I don't know why. It's been that way for 100 and something years, and it's from ships to planes, and they still do it. So I guarantee you, they're going to see something. I just was hoping I'd see Kenya a little bit more involved with advertising, and Uganda, because I think the African Cup next year. I hear people already talking about say, hey, I am definitely going. So I just hope that even if it's after the World Cup, these guys get their marketing team out and start doing something, because there's shitloads of money to be made. I just want the Kenyans and the Ugandans and Tanzanians to be part of it and get as much as they can. This is a whole different market from what they're used to, but I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Afro-Jamaican. We hope to see you in Kenya next year, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania next year. And make sure you come with lots of money.
For a fee, I can be his guide.
Yeah, we can be your guide for a fee.
For a fee, I mean,
a small fee.
If he starts buying the tickets now for both of us, he'll have a guide.
You can facilitate a brown envelope, and we can.
I'm having t-shirts made already. I'll be there.
You guys have forgotten Afro-Jamaican in Kenya.
Where Mika, we are thinking about our stomachs here. Why are you interfering with our food?
Okay. All right. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Thank you so much, Afro-Jamaican. Of course, the show tonight is brought to you by the Kenya Nurses Association of America. They have a big event, a conference in September the 17th to the 19th, Thursday, September the 17th to Saturday, September the 19th. The information is out here on your screen. And
it's in Baltimore?
Yes, it's going to be in Baltimore, Maryland. Make sure you get your tickets. Make sure you book it. A lot of exciting stuff will be happening here.
I think early registration is still on, right?
I think early registration may have expired, but we can go back and check. It was expiring on July 1st. We're going to go back and check to see if there's been an extension, but early registration was ending on July 1st.
And I think that was $250. After that, it was $300.
After that, it was $300.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We have another caller.
Steve Bati, karibu baba.
How do you know it's him?
Asante sana.
You see?
We normally don't say their name. We say anonymous or we say Kizito. This guy.
And then anakuja najisema.
All right.
Huyu ni podcaster, okay?
Sorry.
Huyu sio contributor, huyu ni podcaster.
Okay, Kizito was a banger. Go ahead.
Aya, Sambaza, talk to us.
Lakini
Karibu,
How's
ongea.
everyone doing today?
We're doing great.
We're
brother.
doing great.
Thank you.
Man, let me tell you, this particular World Cup has been an interesting one of some sort because of the way I decided to immerse myself. I know you guys have been seeing some other podcasts doing things out there, and then we've been doing like watch parties, like the way what's this face name, Trevor Noah is doing.
Yes.
And I think for those who didn't utilize Fan Fest of the Dallas area, I think people lost out on that because they have been having games and that place has been full. I mean, I'm wishing I used to work nights because I think my days would have been spent over there. And it's one of a lifetime. I think Dallas outdid this one for these particular games.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
So, and I was telling you guys, when you look at what Mika was saying, I'm gonna agree with Mika with regard to this being a money issue.
Yes.
If you can imagine if Egypt had beaten Argentina, I have been to the stadium twice, not stadium, but to the fan fest twice with Argentinian fans. When they're packing that place, they pack it from one end to the other. These are guys who, when they start singing in the field, they're watching the screen. These guys, whatever they can see their mouth lip syncing, they start singing it where they are. And I've been them 2 times with the Colombians as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'll be with them this coming weekend. And I can tell you, they bring in the money. So you can imagine, this is just a small micro spot where I'm going to, and this is in Dallas. And then you compare how much people will lose or FIFA will lose if Argentina was going to go out and people are not going to be going to see Messi. That is money being lost. And I'll give you an example. There was a guy before the Mexican game. I was sitting down and talking to him, and he was Mexico. He said, "If Mexico next to the finals in Florida, I'm going. Doesn't matter what it is. I put a budget of $5,000. I'm going to watch." Now, the person is thinking like that. Now, can you imagine how many other Argentines are looking at that perspective, and saying, look, if Argentina makes it and this Messi's last dance, I'm going to be there at the stadium. How much money will be made in Miami? You see? So, yeah, at some point you're like, yeah, these guys, Egypt, they played a good game. That goal should not have been allowed. Should not have been called back. And so when you look at that perspective, that's when you realize that, hey, there's something fishy that's going on around here. According to VAR, and when I look at VAR, we say VAR is a problem. If you look at that game between Mexico and England, that referee, and I think I put it on the notes, that referee made sure he used VAR for anytime they complained, he asked for them to check. And he even went to look at the VAR. He walked over there to the VAR booth. And at one point, one of the commentators, I think, was saying, hey, this is slowing down the game with this VAR stuff. But guess what? We're not complaining about Mexico and England. Because whatever they complained, he checked. And he made sure, okay, you are comfortable. You are agreeing to look at both sides, and then fair enough, right? Even though maybe some calls may have not been fair, but he made sure he looked at all those calls. As for Egypt, but one and all, I'll tell you this. Add on to this regarding. By the way, Cabo Verde has they have a very good tournament. I think they have an international tournament for the, what do you call this thing? Not skydiving. Over the they have some beach sports. They're well known for beach sports internationally. So a lot of people go to Cabo Verde for beach sports. That's what they're known for. And apparently, I'm switching off. I'm going back and forth. Apparently, from the time when they played AFCON and people noticed them, their business or tourism has actually started picking up. So I think now they'll probably get it on 2 or 3 fold because of what their soccer team has done so far. Generally, I'll sum it up like this. I have loved this game, and I've loved the fact that the African countries have been included. That 86-minute mark that we have always had a problem with and finishing games, that's all right. We'll figure it out. But the fact that we are more teams going in, the more we're marketing ourselves and people are getting to know the countries, and then, we have more to give. So that's what I'll say. And man, thank you guys for doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much, Sambaza.
Thanks for calling in.
Are you organizing the next boys' trip to Cabo Verde, or
for beach sports?
For the beach sports,
and we can do it from a media perspective.
Sponsored by Sambaza.
If my wife will allow me.
Oh man, I wouldn't mean if your wife, Buana. It's a work trip.
No, it's a work trip.
It is a work
we are
trip.
going to watch.
You are joining hands with the One Mic show so that we can go for the media. It's a media conference to compare notes of games that are taking part in a island.
Where? Okay.
She knows One Mic.
Oh.
So she knows.
That's fine. That's even better.
That's even better. So now
she has direct access. She can call him,
and she can even come
to verify.
Yeah, and she can even come for that.
Only if you can
trip.
find One Mic.
No, she can come.
She can come. She can come to your show. By the way, we're going to be in DC in 2 weeks.
Now you see,
the kids are coming to swim.
You see the way that topic is being switched.
No, he said the kids are coming to swim. So maybe he's one of those parents we need to ask about why the kids are swimming as opposed to playing soccer.
Okay. Yes. And
there's a Howard camp. This is just off the cuff, right? There's a Howard camp where if your child, it's only for black kids, and
interesting.
It's very hard to get into that camp. Yeah, and they hold it, and there are very few spots. Well, not very few spots, but it's very hard to get. We've been trying to get it for the last 2 years.
Okay.
So this year we're able to get it. So we'll be in DC for a week.
Okay.
So,
wow.
We'll be around town.
So since they also like water sports, that means we can also organize for Cabo Verde. We can organize one for Cabo Verde, But anyway, Sambaza, thank you so much. Asante sana. Your updates, your World Cup updates have always been very amazing. Thank you so much. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. We have Mindy B on YouTube, and Asema loving the conversation. I share the same sentiments as Mika regarding Africans supporting Messi versus Argentina. And their support for France. Yes. So, and then Washeke also said here, officially Cape Verde is known as the Republic of Cabo Verde, hence the use of the Portuguese name in the World Cup. And then Washeke also says the Spanish and the Portuguese were brutal colonial masters. Again, number to call, 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. So before we forget, the U.S. men's national team, they were eliminated. And there was a lot of theories surrounding why they got eliminated.
Because they lost.
Many theories regarding why they lost. Some were saying that to examine, it's a wealthy country with millions of children, world-class facilities, and enormous commercial resources, but they still struggle, when it comes to the global stage. And the first question is, does America select the best players or families to play the game, or is it about those who can afford?
Well, but my first question is, do they have, this could be the best of the best in the US. Are they the best compared to other countries? It's like they were the underdog no matter what.
No, okay? but the question is, are they the best of the best in the US? That's the question. Let's not even go to the other countries.
First of all, I think is if you ask that, go ask coach England. Go ask coach of France. That's what they're facing right now. Okay, did they get the best of the best? Because it's so hard for what people, what you call the best of the best. According to what? Is that coach's philosophy? or because of just their scoring, how they're doing through the national team, or that's why I think that debate of is this the best? Is this team? I mean, this is not only to the US, okay? It's even worse for England and what other team ambayo kocha mambiwa if you lose, you know, imekula kwako.
Now here's the other question, and I think this
Germany alivyomchukua Neuer.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he the best of the best? That was the question. But it's like,
but now we want to go back to where kids start playing soccer, and this is one area where I wanted Mika to talk about. Mika, I don't know whether Mika is still on. In the US, to play soccer, you know, like tuseme kama mtoto wako is good in soccer, and this, you know, like you can talk to parents who have kids who are talented in soccer. Yes. So it's very expensive.
Yes.
It's very expensive. So kama una mtoto wako, you know, like at that age when they're being developed, you know, like 9, 10, 11, 12 years.
Yep.
If you can't afford, you know, like
equipment.
Yes.
Going to the
the whole shit
tournaments.
team is expensive.
Yes.
Uniform.
Yes. It could
membership.
It could cost about $6,000 to $10,000 every year.
It's quite a lot. It's quite a lot.
It's
Commitment from the parents. One parent has. You're a full time. That's what they call them, soccer moms. You're a full time. You're a full time engagement driver. Anini na uko hapo.
Yeah.
And cleats are not cheap, and those kids are growing actually, like whatever.
Yeah.
You guys are mentioning the cheaper things.
Go ahead, Nick.
Uniforms, cleats, nini, those are the cheaper spectrum of it. Yeah, your fuel that you're using to drive and everything, that's the cheaper aspect of it. That's definitely not an expense. You paying for the kid to play is the most expensive part of it.
Once you get to that level, I think Omosho was speaking about that startup.
And actually, Bandio, that is the startup age. Remember, even these tournaments you see kids playing Kopak, right? Like every weekend you see kids play. Those are paid.
They're paid for, yes.
Paid to play.
They're paid for. They're not free. So
basically,
if you want your kid to play football in America, you have to be willing to spend money, and the higher the age comes, the more expensive it gets. And then now when they get to a good point whereby they're good enough and you want them to get a scholarship for college, you pay for a more expensive program which caters for that. But then all these kids are always going to be good at is just playing for college. They don't go anywhere.
Yep.
The good thing is that clubs in America have started developing
MLS.
their own academies, and the academies are free, but they're not enough. Now the thing is, there was an argument, and somebody said, we don't understand why you have a very good talent pool of American football and basketball and say you can't get the same for soccer because it's the same genetics. Actually, Americans are tall and huge, and soccer players are tall and huge. So if you can be able to take this athletic gene and train it soccer from a younger age, you'll build monsters of players. But the issue is that if you see for basketball and football, even though it's a pay-for-play method, it's way cheaper and way more affordable for families in the hood to put their kid through a training program, or even just in the park where they're playing themselves, to get themselves to such a good position whereby there's more investments in agencies, academies, understanding that we can go pick up these kids, train them, and get an investment out of them than it is in regular soccer. So the pay-for-play method in America is a failure.
But can I say
because
something?
it's more of rich people having a way of getting their kids out of the house, giving them an activity, or get them a free ride to college.
So I think, to me, I feel like it's a systematic thing was done. Kuna vitu US, they try to suppress because ni kama vina glorify watu walio watawala. The fact that they're still holding into gallons and all this stuff. Kuna baadhi ya vitu ambavyo they just want to have some identity.
Some difference, an American identity.
Yes, this is our identity, and to glorify soccer ni glorify. Nenda kwenye page ya Piers Morgan. uone jinsi Americans wanavyomtukana. It's like, you keep your game, you know, we're just gonna beat you in UFC, basketball, you know, and all this stuff. And they believe in that. And I feel like hata waliko kule juu kwenye kufanya maamuzi, if the person anafanya maamuzi the president, I know soccer very well, na hata kujua red card ni nini, you know.
Yeah, so it's the first time I heard about red card.
Yeah, I know this game very, very well. I'm really good in sports. Unajua. So kuna vitu ambavyo Americans wameviweka hapo. And I think all these expenses ni kwa sababu government hai fund kutoka uchini, hai supplement baadhi ya gharama ambazo zingeweza kuwepo.
So do you think the US government is deliberately suppressing soccer and
No,
it's not basketball na football?
No. I do not agree with that.
Sidhani kama wana suppress. Ila nachoweza kusema ni kwamba wamewekeza zaidi kwenye vitu vingine ambavyo vinawapa.
The thing is this. It's nothing to do with the government. It's just a capitalistic system whereby,
kwa sababu unajua Marekani hata hawana wizara ya michezo,
whereby profit is the most important thing.
Yeah, so but who creates that channels of profits, Mika?
Their football system, how is set up is that anybody who invests in that league, their sporting system is that if you invest in sports, you're going to make a profit.
You're guaranteed.
Regardless of winning or not winning, you're going to make a profit. Bottom line of that, right? So it's set up in a way whereby profitability is what matters the most.
Okay, but Mika, if you talk about that, hata MLS, iko the same.
Ngoja nimalize. So the way they've set up MLS, you've said that there's no jeopardy. Hakuna relegation, right?
So, ni kama NFL.
Hakuna relegation, hakuna promotion. Ni different na England. In England there's jeopardy. There's jeopardy in that you can buy a team and that team can be relegated from Division 1 to Division 2, Division 3, back at 6 divisions down. In America, there's no jeopardy like that. In America, there's a system whereby you join a system, you join a team, your team is guaranteed to make profit from the whole league, how the league runs itself. You make more money depending on where you finish, but at the end of the day, you make profit. So even in terms of players, how you sign players, there's a cap of salaries because at the end of the day, the team has to win.
Yes.
So in Europe, teams go into losses because they have to buy expensive players to be able to win, and it doesn't work out all the time. So in America, the owner is more protected than anybody else. That's the first person that is being taken care of in sports. And that's how the MLS pia imetengenezwa mpaka sahi. Would the MLS benefit if there was jeopardy in it? Yes, because it means now the other lower divisions will also start investing in good players because they want to come to the upper divisions. So it makes a pyramid whereby more money gets invested into better players, player development, and grassroots, which makes the system grow. But as it is right now, where it's just a system whereby if you're in the ownership, you get money. People like Beckham were able to be promised a franchise team. Like they plan to it. They know that in a few years, we'll allow a certain person to come in at a certain amount of money through marketing, and then from all his efforts and everything, he's going to make a certain amount of money from it. So they have a projection on how it's going to work. It's a profitable business for them.
So Mika pia
financially, it's good. Football-wise, it's not.
Yeah, but I think also inabidi tuambie watu kwamba MLS ndio ina own league and contract za wachezaji.
Yes.
Ina own teams and contract. Wewe una operate tu.
Yeah.
Yes. Hapa teams zinakuwa owned na hakuna, kama nilivyosema, hakuna relegation, hakuna mambo ya kupanda daraja, hakuna mambo ya kushuka daraja. Ni kama hivyo ambavyo kuna D-League.
Yeah.
Nobody's just, hawezi kusema kwamba sasa kwa performance hii the only thing mtapata ni first pick, first round pick kwenye next, but nobody's been relegated. Hata kwenye NBA, hata kwenye NFL, but bado tunarudi pale pale. Kwa nini hata kwenye Major League Baseball, lakini kwa nini nyingine zina profit?
Sasa lakini bandio unaona hii kukosa relegation, what it does effectively is that unaona kama tuseme mimi na wewe, like we have some money and we want to start developing a team, tutaidevelop na tutajienjoy tu sisi wenyewe. Unaona kama UK kuna story kama ya Wrexham. Of course they've not been promoted yet to the EPL, but polepole walitoka kwa zile divisions za chini, like people put in money, you develop players there, and that's where like small investors wanaweza kuingia, go discover players ambao pia hawajulikani. And that's a reason why in a lot of these other countries talent ikionekana hata kama una miaka 6-7 You know, like there's someone who knows about you. If someone doesn't know, there's someone who knows about you. So that's the reason why unasikia mtu ati alikuwa discovered akiwa na 7 years, 8 years. Na sasa hapa 7, 8 years in the US, if your parents don't have money to go and pay for you to play in those leagues, you know, no one is discovering you. It's very funny, unaenda katika hizi tournaments ambazo ziko California. Think about it, you're in California and then unaona team imejaa wazungu. And unajiuliza, like team, you know, youth team imejaa wazungu.
They can afford.
Imejaa wazungu. Unajiuliza California, how can there be no Latinos in an area where we know that there are so many Latino kids who play this game? Mika.
No, watana California, DC. Una tournament DC, hiyo tournament haijajaa watoto wa Afrika na wa Latino. Imejaa watoto wazungu. It doesn't make sense. Like, let's look, for example, America's best talent that ever came out and was wasted was an immigrant kid who was picked up by an academy.
Yeah,
Freddie Adu.
Right? Yeah.
And what happened to Adu? He burnt out. Walimwarakisha. They had nothing else.
They couldn't develop him.
Yeah. They were surprised. Walikuwa jiona kitu kama hiyo.
Yuko high bado.
Yuko bado wana coach.
Yeah. They were surprised. They'd never seen anything like that. Like, never seen a kid who can play football. Like, walikuwa naangalia mtoto mdogo anakuna talent hii design. Juu walikuwa jazoea kunecha talent.
Yeah, but back to Ali's question, right? As far as nurturing talents, it's not something new because they do in all other sports. As far as money to build those stadiums, whatever, they do have it. Actually, now wameonyesha they can convert the same stadiums kwa ajili ya bigger matches like they did.
Yeah.
Na leo nilikuwa nasikiliza mtangazaji anasema this is the best stadium I've ever been. Katika Aura and all this stuff. Walipokuwa Los Angeles. Okay. Yeah. So it's not about the stadium. It's not about number of people.
No.
It's not about the system of nurturing kids because they do that with other sports.
No.
Ni utashi. It's a willingness ya kufanya hivyo katika soka.
So there's no willingness to do that.
And I see that katika namna ambayo is like I say the Marekani the way iko set. Hakuna wizara ya michezo. Unajua? Hakuna department of sports whatever. Lakini zipo namna ambazo they manage kila kitu mpaka chini na namna ambavyo they run hizo. Ukiangalia vile anafanya katika music and also katika michezo mingine, somehow kuna supports ambayo ipo systematical. Now you don't see that katika soka. Na ndio maana inakuwa so expensive kwa watu kwa sababu inajiendesha somehow kama private stuff. So itafika wakati if wataamua kuirun ama kufikiria na kuiendesha almost the same way they do with other type of sports.
Yeah.
Nafikiri tunaweza kufika mbali.
But look at it this way. In the SAI kwa MLS, the Americans who own European teams are pushing. They're really pushing for a European system. Iingie kwa MLS. Right? But then the other people are refusing because wanaangalia, they don't want that jeopardy. The jeopardy of that you can lose money. Hiyo ndo shida yenye inafanya. Hao wengine wanaangalia from a business perspective, right? Somebody like Kroenke akiangalia the profit that he made from Arsenal this season, anaangalia ile timu yake ile ya Denver, anasema, man, this team can make more money than I'm always capped on it.
Yeah, I think Mika, right? We're on the same thing kwa sababu somehow kuna system ambayo imewekwa. It's like kwa mfano kama wana fight nini. Yeah, the system ambayo iko pale. Na haitoki Ikulu.
Yeah, profitability.
Yes.
It's just the profitability. It's the fact that everybody in there makes money is what's carrying them to change because they don't want the jeopardy of that. One day I can't be relegated, and ukikuwa relegated, you're making less money, right? Because umeshuka chini, unaenda lower division, the money is gonna be mtu mwenye yuko MLS is going to make more money than somebody who's in Division 2. So that's what they're scared about. But they don't want that.
But Mika, could they also be scared? Because even with the system as is currently, there's a lot of money being made from these little leagues of soccer, you know, like which are very expensive. But there's tons of money that's also being made there.
Unajua, the one thing is this.
Yeah.
Right now, because of how the MLS is, right? They have academies. The teams have discovered to be competitive, they have to build their own academies. And most of these teams are started building their own academies, right? But still, just the teams having the academies is not enough. You need a nationwide system of academies to be able to make a continuous supply of talent. Now, the thing is this. For the MLS to improve, they have to stop shipping their best talent to Europe. A player will come from South America, come to the MLS, light up the MLS for 2 years, he's off to Europe. An American player will come from the academy, light up the MLS, 2 years, off to Europe, right? So the league is never growing in any way because you can't afford to keep these players here. These players need that money. But then because the system is so designed in whereby only the owner is getting profit, nobody else is making money but the owners of the team. So the growth of the league will never happen, or the growth of it will never happen because all your good players are shipping out. But players are not coming here. The players who are coming here are coming to retire.
But Mika,
for your league to improve, it has to. Your league does not have to be a retirement home for it to improve.
But how, Mika? How can they retain players in the MLS?
They can retain players.
If South America, ngoja Mika, if South America can't, Africa can't. There's no one. It's very difficult to compete with those European salaries. How can they retain players?
Americans have the money. Americans have the money to pay those salaries. They don't want to pay the salaries to the players. They want the money to go to the owners. That's the difference.
I see what Mika is saying.
That's the difference.
So if we start paying players,
remove salary caps. Ali,
yeah,
it's simple as this: remove salary caps, pay market rate, right? Put more jeopardy into your league, make it more competitive, so that people invest more, right? There's a big market for new football. Like, people are consuming the EPL. It's exciting.
Yes.
Games za EPL zikiisha, hauna kitu ingine ya kufanya. Unaona La Liga ikiisha, you have a free day. If MLS is that good, if you invest in it that good, that's a new market that's there. Nobody has. Why do you think the Saudi government is investing that much into their teams? And they're not buying old players; they're buying young players. Because they know, for your league to gain value, you have to bring the current best players to come play into it. So you have to pay that money. The MLS will never improve if it's just a dump where people come to retire and all your young talent is exported.
Now, Mika, one difference with the Saudi league, they're not necessarily looking at profits. There are so many other things they're looking at. Problem in America is that, once we start paying these players these high amounts of money, are the teams and the league still gonna be profitable?
No. But Ali, one thing you're forgetting is that the Saudi league actually did say that they're looking for sustainability. So they're looking to market their league to actually sell. They're not doing it for the sake of it. Our Fanyi Vibes and Inshallah, they are building their league to be a competitor of the European leagues.
Okay. Fair enough. But the thing, I think part of the problem in the US is that sports, they want to see the profits right there, or the path to profitability. And like we said earlier, there's a lot of side money being made from across these little leagues, because now once we start introducing that system, merit, there's a lot of people who will stop eating. There's a lot of people who are eating right now that are gonna stop eating once hiyo system ya merit, whereby inajulikana kama mtoto wako is good, like they will be picked up regardless of whether you can afford it or not. Then that, the Jakes and Matthews, now they no longer have a spot, because now it's by merit. And then ukiangalia, if you go to states, of course, like California, these kids are playing soccer. African kids are playing soccer. Spanish kids are playing soccer. But when you look at the team, because I think what they tried doing this time is they also tried picking up, the American players in the diaspora, which was good, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to get them to where they need to be. So this is a very tough one for the US. Again, the number to call, 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. I can see Washeke says America locks out talent by making it unaffordable for kids to play. And then Sambaza Nasema, but MLS is matching the other leagues' EPL seasons next year or so. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Please, fafanua hapo.
No, so they're trying to, in terms of marketability, they want to open more markets. So their season is going to be the same time as a European season. Yeah, so they've changed their calendar. Their calendar used to be weird.
Okay. I did not know that. So now it's going to be in sync with the European season.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. I did not know that. Isn't that going to clash with other leagues or maybe the fans have
No,
mixed?
actually, it makes it easier so that when they have international breaks and then players have to be called up for international breaks, it doesn't affect their league. Because sometimes they have a heavy South American presence, South and Central American presence. So when the FIFA calendar says it's an international break, and then for them the league is deep in their season, you see they have to lose players. And then it allows them. It makes it easier for them to sell games, TV games. So they're trying to make strides to improve.
And then I think because wakati inaanza hii ilikuwa ni sehemu ya kuretire, so most people walikuwa wakija huku ni wale ambao hata wawi kwenye timu za taifa. So like when Rooney almost amestaff ndo anakuja
good retirement home.
Now sasa hivi
na mpaka akapata coaching job pia.
No, bado ni retirement home haishi. Bado mishahara zao bado ni za retirement home. Until the day they start paying good money, they are going to be a retirement home. Haishi anytime soon.
Okay. Now, the other thing, Mika, on going back to Cape Verde or Cabo Verde, do you think if it were not for this expanded format, first of all, what's your view of this expanded format of the World Cup from 32 to 48 teams? Would you still stick to 32 or are you enjoying the 48 team format?
And they're talking about 60.
I like the 48 team format. Yes. It's been, let's be honest. Akujai kwa na game by World Cup. There've been average games, but there's never been
we haven't.
Game.
Even the ones
Qatar ilichapwa 6.
But ilikuwa game entertaining bado. Walijaribu.
Walijaribu wakachapwa 6.
Walikuwa na fight.
If the competition is tough,
walikuwa nafungwa juu walikuwa wanajaribu kuattack. Wanakutwa
wamevutwa and then all they do is loop. Ule msee huyo nduki.
Haikuwa hakuna like let's be honest. In terms of atmosphere, the World Cup has been phenomenal. Study nini watu wameenjoy game for study. Hata kama tulikuwa tunasema ni expensive, tunasema ice nini watu wameenjoy game. Games zenyewe zimekuwa entertaining. Like honestly mpaka na miss World Cup. Like mpaka nasema ile game nilikuwa naona ni mbaya, najiforce kuona, nasema sitaki kuona, naona 30 minutes nazimiss because zilikuwa poa, zilikuwa game mbaya. So there's been that. Like for me, I'm gonna stick with this format. The reason I'm sticking with this format at least because we've seen teams that actually didn't qualify, not because they were bad, but because they didn't have the chance.
Space. There was not enough.
Right?
What about teams like Italy?
Italy, mimi ni fan wa Italy bandio, ndakwambia kitu moja, shida ya Italy ni moja ni gani? Wacha tena hiyo, shida ya Italy moja ni recruiting. Italy have lost their way between developing young talent and bridging it into older talent. Italy under 15, 16, 17 teams ziko fiti. How players awachezangi ligi yao, wanachezanga Serie B. Wanarotuko Serie B. by the time when a national team need players, hawana players who are Italian born or Italian raised, because the players didn't even play in their national leagues or they didn't go out of their country. They have this stupid rule that forces them to go through Serie B wanaenda kuwazea huko, which they need to change. And then another thing they also have to figure out in a way whereby, you see the way in England a 16-year-old is given a chance in a big club. Hawana hiyo. I don't know how they lost it. Like Italy just lost itself.
Yeah.
They need to go sit down with themselves, figure out the elections in that federation of theirs, and work on it.
Sijelewa hiyo Serie B, like hebu explain it kidogo.
C-League. He's saying
The league.
the league.
Serie B,
See the Serie A and the
yeah.
Serie B.
No, I know,
Serie B
but
Serie B sasa badala unaona vile England kuko na championship.
yeah.
Huko Serie B yao ni ma-B team.
Yeah. I get you. Yeah, I did not know that. So it's not at the different teams in championship. Kama Juventus B team iko Serie B.
Yeah, wangeacha Serie B iko ni kuna maklub, but pia wamekatakataka za hizi teams zingine huko ndani. So the richer teams have these young players who are playing in there and dominating that league. So hakuna development ina happen.
Ni kama D-League
Because bado ni watoto
Oh, kama D-League, yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is wangeacha Serie, unaona vile England championship ni club.
Man, those people serious.
Wako na stadium yao na kila kitu.
Yes.
Championship is serious.
Si ati mnapatia watoto wako na ligi zao tofauti. Italy hawafanyi hiyo ujinga, wamemix up kila kitu. Hiyo ndio ujinga walifanya.
Oh wow, I
had
no idea.
Yeah, sijui you have to be this or that, nini, and they don't want to pick what are they called? Would I say foreign born players?
No, they're picking like in a foreign born wanakwamia huko chini, like they don't have a clear development path for their talent. Italy has some very nice young players. Those players just don't get a clear development path.
Ni kama batoto ba Mungu.
So Balotelli was the last chap standing.
No, sikuna kina Moise Kean wenye wametokea wenye ni Waafrika wanacheza. Africa, like Italy has some very nice young players. Wachana Balotelli alichapa.
I know. I'm just saying.
Shida yao ni they don't have a clear, like Italy is just it's a bureaucracy issue.
So they need to fix their mess.
And unless they fix that,
yeah,
wataumia for a minute.
Now going back to Cabo Verde, any team that Harambee Stars at some point used to beat.
It's been a while since we beat them.
It's been a while, yes.
They did very well kwenye AFCON though.
Yes, kwenye AFCON they also did very well. Yeah, walishtua watu sana. They did very well. But what is it? But hata hiyo kitambo tukisema, it's not, it's barely like maybe 10 years ago that Harambee Stars ilikuwa inawachapa. But so my question is, what is it that they've done within such a short period of time that ikawawezesha kuwa very competitive, like in AFCON, and not only just in AFCON, but even in the World Cup? Mika?
They've done what all the good African teams have done. And this is to answer Bandio's question. They went to the diaspora. You remember there's actually a player who plays in England, Ali approach you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Akafikiria ni joke.
Yes.
Yeah. But angekuwa sasa anachezea Cape Verde. Like ali approach you, alikuwa na friend joke. But the thing is this. We do know that there's no place where players are developed like in Europe. From a young age, you are being trained as a professional. Everything that you do is from your feeding, your sleeping, your playing, your training is all professional. So these kids from a young age have a different standard that talent alone cannot beat. In Africa, we have talent. For the first mtu ingia high school na miaka ngapi?
14.
Yeah. That is why that's most people find organized structures at that particular time in high school. A majority. a few who live in the city, Nairobi, they'll find some type of youth system. Kama una pesa utapata academy.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, ligi ndogo hizo.
Yeah. So majority of players in Africa get a structured system in
high school. Yeah.
And then after high school, with the club that you're going in, is where you're going to get a professional setting, if at all the club is professional or semi-pro. So what carries you the most is talent. And that cannot hack alone.
Yes,
Somebody who's been training since they were 9 knows how to measure their runs, knows how to conserve their energies, knows how to read the game, know how to adjust. Like has been trained, like their level is so different. So the good African teams, what they did, they went to the diaspora and they took their team. Look at Morocco.
So
right?
Here's my other question.
Look at Senegal.
But just going to the diaspora, is that the only thing that you can do? Effectively recruit the diaspora to improve your team. Akuna, there's no other thing that they did to their own, internal football within Cape Verde.
Internally, you make your structures work. Also, you make your structures whereby, because the people you're bringing are professional, right? They need professional standards to continue operating also. So you have to also zile corruptions za kuiba pesa kwenye watu place ya kulala, all that needs to go. For your league also, you also have to figure out in a way whereby, okay, fine, the diaspora is going to be a small fix. It's going to be a temporary fix. Yes, it's going to be it's going to be there, but you also have to work about your future development. Now, for now, they had a target on getting to the World Cup, getting to the tournament, and doing the same, and getting far in the tournament. It's the same thing Kenya is doing right now. If you look at the Harambee Stars that's playing right now, it's 60-70% diaspora. Players who are born in England, Germany, and Australia. Like players and they're playing in Division 2 in England and slowly building with that team. It's the same thing with Cameroon. In Ambuemo, they're French. They were brought in, and slowly Cameroon is building a team for this AFCON and the next World Cup. So it's a thing whereby African countries have realized that we do have these second generation, first generation players who are being raised in that environment of making them more professional. We can bring them in, and with that, we also have to clean house and fix house whereby we fix our systems to allow that. Now, the issue is that sports in Africa is controlled by governments. The appetite of the government in improving also has to matter.
It has to improve.
Yep.
Yeah, if your government is not
interested,
you're going to suffer.
And
for countries which you see the president has a certain interest in sports, we see like Rwanda. What's his name?
Kagame.
Kagame loves basketball.
Yes.
We can see how the basketball is improving. How much is investing in that.
And NBA Africa is there, like they are there.
Like
they're
not giving them
anywhere.
a home and everything. Yeah. So it if you have a president who's more sports inclined and a government who supports it, it's going to work. If you have a government who sees sports as a way to waste money and loot, then unfortunately it's going to affect. But the diaspora, for the African teams going for the diaspora, I don't mind, because look at France, look at England. I think apart from Argentina, all teams in this World Cup,
black people
had a player who had African roots.
Yes, almost all of them, especially the European teams.
Not almost,
all the European teams.
Apart from Argentina.
Yeah.
Na South Korea.
I was gonna say. What about Xinjiang?
Japan walikuwa na Afrika.
Yes, the goalie.
Yes, Zion.
The goalie.
Mghanaian.
Yeah. Alikuwa anaitwaje? Suzuki.
Suzuki.
Yeah.
Suzuka. Zion. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think to add what what Mika said, that's why I initially say kuna advantage ya kutumia diaspora. We lost identity and test, but it also gave us an opportunity ya watu ambao like Haiti. When was the last time wamekuwa na league? Ile ni nchi ambayo I have good friends wanakaa kule.
Yeah.
Nothing's going on. Kila county iko under different gang. Na there's not even, I don't even think kuna tournament yote.
Hawana local league.
Umesema barbecue ako hapo mara 6.
Yes.
Na wako na coach ambaye hajawahi hata kufika kule. You know?
So where were they being coached?
Outside.
Outside. It was unsafe kwa coach kwenda kule.
Outside.
God.
Okay. Meet and greet.
So wametumia diaspora kufanya hivyo. I'm pretty sure hata Iran then kama kuna league inaendelea hivi sasa. You know, so all this stuff. Kwa kuna faida ya hiyo kitu. But the issue is what we're doing after that. Kuna mambo ya dual citizenship, tumeona ambavyo amefanya na unaona effect zake jinsi ilivyo. And I remember I wrote this in, let me go back, August 25, 2008. kuhusiana na Olympics. And I think it was Winter Olympic ambayo ilikuwa imekamilika. And winner wa Winter Olympic alikuwa Christy Coventry from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Okay. Na ambaye
was it swimming ama ilikuwa?
I think it was either swimming or...
I think Christy Coventry was a swimmer.
Was that a swimmer? Yes.
Yeah, I think Christy Coventry was a swimmer.
Lakini alifanya sports ambayo kwanza alikuwa mwakilisha peke yake from that. Lakini hakuwa akikaa Zimbabwe. Alikuwa anasoma, alikuwa kwenye scholarship kama alivyokuwa Hashim Thabit.
Yes.
The issue is ukishaanza kuwa na hao, one, how do you at least expose them to the agents wa huku waseme kwamba kuna Hashim Thabit, nitamchukua nitamleta huku, because they didn't have to feed them, they didn't have to, you know, to train, all this stuff. Hivyo vitu vilikuwa vinafanya na universities ambazo walikuwa attend, but the government must have some system that can expose this or can just make them visible to other agents waweze kuwaona. Kama hiyo hamna, that's the thing, talent is there. Hashim Thabit mpaka leo naamini is not even the best basketball player from Tanzania, ila somehow alikuwa exposed na high school aliyokuwepo. So what we need to do is not only kuwa na watu from the diaspora au wanaocheza huku, but also kuangalia namna kuweza kuwarudisha, alafu kaweza kupick zile talents zilizoko mle. So kuna haya mambo, politics zitaingia, kuna mambo ya dual citizenship, kuna mambo ya hadhi maalum, which is what now is chewing kwa Tanzania.
So Tanzania itakuwa ni challenge hiyo.
Ni challenge, lakini bado wapo watu ambao kuna diasporas ambao wanacheza. Ukiangalia timu ya taifa ya Tanzania, kuna watu ambao wako Uingereza, wako nchi za nje sasa hivi. Achana kina Mbwana Samata ambao wanacheza nje. Lakini kuna wengine ambao ni kama vile wazaliwa, lakini hao ni wale ambao wanatakiwa wa retain some sort of haki za
kwanza Canada.
Lakini sasa kama Tanzania vile hawaruhusu uraia pacha. Sasa kama ni mtoto umezaliwa huku na una uraia wa Marekani na unacheza.
Nenda ucheze. Kwani siku ambao wamezaliwa Tanzania amekuja huku wamepata uraia wako. Kuna wengine wako MLS hapa. Fanya vizuri tu.
But hawezi kuchezea timu ya taifa ya Tanzania. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Unabidi kuna baadhi ya vitu. Unabidi kuviwekea some sort of system. So inawezekana for the country, maybe national security inakuja above sports. We understand. Lakini inabidi kufika sehemu ambayo they can at least discuss openly na kuangalia what do we want to do, how we can invest kwenye hiyo. Lakini hata wale walioko Tanzania, unajua, like sports somehow, kuna kipindi sports ilikufa shuleni. It's like no sports katika shule. Kwa zile competition tulikuwa nafanya secondary school, you know, college, zikawa zimefutwa.
It really surprised me kuniambia hivyo. Sikuwa najua.
Hata hiyo yenyewe ingeweza kuexpose wale wangechukuliwa. They didn't have to change their citizenship. Angekuja hapa, angekuwa yuko chuo, alafu anarudi na and by the way, kama unacheza, I think it would be stupid kwa mtu ambaye unatoka Tanzania unakuja hapa, alafu unasema nibadilishe uraia kuingia kwenye kuwakilisha Marekani katika, you know, katika basketball, wakati unajua chance ya wewe kupata namba ni ndogo sana ukilinganisha na
slimmer than slim.
Kwa unaona wale watu kama wakina nani huyu ambaye sasa hivi aliamua kuchezea Jamaica, what is his name, yuko Aston Villa, unajua alijaribu Uingereza akaona, you know what, sina akaamua kuingia kwa sababu aliona. Sasa angalia how pack France team yao jinsi ilivyo,
fully loaded.
Unaona ile timu ina vipaji to the point wale ambao walikuwa wanaishi
Ngolo hasn't played,
you know.
Ngolo hasn't played.
He's on the bench.
Yes.
He has not played.
So wale ambao dual citizenship, they'll be like, you know what, naweza nikachezea Haiti because there's no way naweza nikachezea nchi hii. Unajua hata huyo Marekani, kwani huyu ambaye alipata red card si alikuwa na uwezo ongeza kuchezea Nigeria ambako wazazi wake ndio asili, angeza kuchezea Algeria ambako mama yake ndio, au angechezea French kwa sababu mama yake ni French Algerian, au angechezea Uingereza ambako wazazi wake ndio walikuwepo, ila alizaliwa kwa bahati mbaya, alizaliwa Marekani. Kwa alipoangalia as like wapi pana nafasi nzuri, US. Kwa wanapata option kama system inafanya kazi.
Okay.
Now if the shit system is not working, unajikuta
hapa Mindibi anasema lots need to be done. On the positive side, I think US men's national team is on the right track. It wasn't cheap hiring Mauricio.
Yes.
He is the highest paid coach in US soccer history. And then anasema Pochettino is not necessarily the savior, but in my opinion, the big investment spent hiring is a positive indicator. I don't know, because I remember there was a time when Jürgen Klinsmann was the
Correct.
US coach
after
Bruce.
after Bruce Arena,
Bruce
right?
Arenas.
I think it was after Bruce.
It might have been after.
The thing is this: Poch is the best coach with this team because for him nobody's gonna be biased on him. My best pick. He's gonna pick what he thinks is gonna be good for the team and everything. Like he's unbiased and all, right? But they also have to help him. They also have to help him by giving him a bigger pool of players to pull from. The issue with America is not the coaching; it's the quality of the players. Like there's a ceiling. Yes, they have good players. They can Kinades, Kinanani, but all these kids are kids who were born outside the country. They were kids who were raised outside the country. They didn't play in America. So you're getting the second best option because they didn't make it in Europe.
Yes.
So they have to make it easier for anybody who's coming to improve the quality of the players in this country. Shida ya Amerika na shida yenye tunaongea Tanzania na Kenya ni same. Hakuna quality from within. Mnategemea watu wa nje. So imagine we check country ka France, right? Country ka Holland, country ka England, Spain, all those European countries, they pick the best from themselves. Then they pick the best from us, alafu anatupatia the rest.
Kwa hivyo tunaweza kuita ni athletes drain. Yeah. Or is that a correct terminology?
Why can't we do the same? Mbona sisi tuko tunapatiwa the rest? Mbona sisi tunachukua the best tunapatiwa wengine the rest? Like the best African players are playing in Europe for European teams.
But you see that there's still African countries, kama hizi countries in North Africa, that still have, despite the fact that their best players are playing in Europe, but they still have strong domestic leagues.
Yes, but Ali, let's be realistic. Angalia country ka Morocco. All those players are French. All those players are either French or Dutch or Spanish.
No, ni ukweli, it's true.
No, like look at that team. All the players are French, Dutch or Spanish. They're not Moroccan.
So now,
local Moroccan national team yenye ilitengenezwa na players wanacheza kwao ilichapwa na Harambee Stars yenye inachezea wachezaji wanacheza na KPL.
That was Chan. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
That was Chan, yeah.
So their local teams are not good. Aziko fiti without that diaspora link, they just average ka sisi.
I don't know about kama sisi.
No, because like you saw that tournament. You saw that tournament. Like look at that tournament. Look at how team performed. All those good kina Cameroon, siju kina nani, they were basic. East African teams, we walked over them.
Yeah.
Like we literally walked over them. Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, and we were walking over those teams. Quarters, semis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So Mika, are you saying that we are now condemned to hoping we can find some diaspora players to fill those gaps?
Yes. Unless we improve our systems at home to be churning and fixing that. Tuko na talent Kenya. We have very good talent. We need more than talent. Talent is never enough in sports.
But also things are changing, and I can point few of them. I know Mosh said something about officiating. That's always a big thing. But now almost, I think they started in the last or the previous 2 Kariakoo derby. So remember, Simba na Yanga is the 5th derby kwa hadhi Africa.
Wow.
Okay?
It's number 5.
It's number 5.
Yeah.
Na sasa hivi hawatumii referees wa Kitanzania. So wamefikia stage kwamba wataleta referee either watoka sijui Morocco, kuna mechi nyingine ambazo ziko very very contested pale na referee watoka Kenya, nafikiri something either Algeria or something.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu ile bias ambayo huwa ipo na inaharibu soka kwa ujumla. So the last one ambayo tumeangalia mechi ambayo really was very close na hakukuwa na mambo ya Tanzania naita bahasha, meaning kuna mtu amepewa ka envelope hakukuwa na bahasha, lakini referees hawakuwa kutoka Tanzania. Kwa nafikiri wameweka some sort of aina fulani system katika kukuza mchezo. And yes, biashara ya soka Tanzania iko juu sana. Ligi ya soka Tanzania iko juu. Timu ya taifa inaweza isiwe juu, lakini ligi when it comes to kwenye CAF Champion League, huko tumekuwa tukipiga semi-final, quarter final, at least kwenye quarter final, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years in a row.
But bandit.
Yes.
Issue yenye mimi niko nayo ni from a local perspective, ball Africa improve.
Biashara
Africa mzima ball improve. Right, from a local compared to a few years back, improve. Leagues are stronger, right? Hata ukiangalia Sekafa tu ile team like Yanga, Simba, Gor, FC, wanaitwaje la Uganda, like KCC, like when we have this regional club championship, Villa, yeah, it's a very entertaining tournament.
But
hiyo shida ni hiyo tournament zote ni talent. Kuna ile standard ina lack. Our players wote ni wakali, ni wanoma.
Well, lakini Mika, that's what I was saying. Kwamba one, kuna how you sustain ile iliyopo. Kwa sababu, actually, to Mika's point, ukiangalia soka ya Tanzania, iko juu sana. Iko juu, ligi ya Tanzania iko juu. Kwa sababu inatumia wachezaji wa nje, lakini sio nje ya Afrika.
Within Africa.
Wachezaji wote
ni wa
almost wote ni wa ndani ya Afrika.
Yeah.
Lakini kwenye nation bado unakuta kuna kitu ambacho
kinakosekana.
Kuna kasoro fulani katika katika kusustain ile. Kwa hiyo unakuta nafikiri somehow ni kama vile tunaendeshwa na emotions za ligi na numbers na followers na clicks na umefika pale juu, lakini ukiangalia in reality nafikiri inaendeshwa zaidi na ndio maana hata unakuta wakati mwingine inakuwa ngumu. Yes, ipo katika watu wote, si kila mtu anaweza kusustain kwa muda mrefu kama leo kama Messi na Ronaldo, lakini pia unaweza ukaona hata wale wanaitwa MVPs wakati mwingine ni msimu mmoja msimu miwili, unajua amekuja mwingine
akapotea.
Alafu kitu kingine pia maybe Mika ata chime in, the fact kwamba ligi zetu, timu zetu nyingi ni kama za wananchi, unajua ni za members. Hakuna mambo ya Arsene Wenger atakaa hapo mpaka by the time unakuja kumuondoa. At one point unakumbuka wakati ameanza Arteta, Mikel Arteta, and even like mtoe, watu wanasema mtoe, na wanaosema hivyo watu wa Tanzania wanasema mtoe, Kenya wanasema bwana huyu aondolewe. Lakini kwa sababu ligi sio, maamuzi hayafanywi kwa pressure ya watu wasiojua soka. Okay? Kwa sababu unakuta ni timu ya wanachama.
Sasa wanachama ndio wanafanya maamuzi. Ukileta
ujinga wanaita mkutano, wanakutoa wewe rais.
Wanasema uondolewe.
Kwa ili wewe rais usiondoke, unamfukuza kocha. Kwa hiyo kuna kocha anaingia, anakwenda, anacheza almost unbeaten mpaka anachukua ubingwa. And then what? Anakuja anapoteza kwenye timu ambayo ni rival, unajua? Kwa hiyo anakuwa huko kwa FC Leopard amefanya vizuri mpaka anakaribia kuchukua. Lakini the fact kwamba amefungwa na Gor Mahia, wanamwambia yule mwenyekiti au rais wa timu, wewe tutakuitisha mkutano, tunakufukuza. Na yeye bado anataka ugali, anamfukuza kocha. So hata ile system ya kuongoza hizi timu, the fact kwamba timu ndio bana haya mambo hutosikia kwenye timu kama Azam, Utusikia kwenye timu kama Kagera Sugar kwa sababu zile zinamilikiwa na kampuni fulani na wale wana make decisions.
Bandio, unajua issue moja ni sports is a tribal thing, right? That is why unaona huko America a high school team has more fans than an NFL team.
True.
Kwa sababu the people who live in that city of that high school team, like walisoma hiyo shule, iko kwa damu. Wana feel towards it, right? So mtu ameshabikia Yanga akuangukia kushabikia Yanga, alizaliwa kwa ushabiki wa Yanga.
But Mika, nikwambie kitu, mimi ninatoka Bukoba pale na tunakwenda kwenye mechi ya Simba na Kagera Sugar. 90% ya watu wamevaa jezi za Simba na sio za Kagera Sugar. Umenielewa? It's tribal, lakini it's tribal, lakini pia
kuna zile dominant teams.
Kuna masuala ya marketing, kuna masuala, umeelewa?
Nilikuwa nafika huko.
Okay, pole.
Unaona hata Kenya. Kenya kuna timu mbili, AFC na Gor.
And that's it.
Unaona? Hizo team,
the others are others.
Hizo team ukipeleka AFC na Gor, Mandera zitapata
fans. Yes.
Yeah.
Kutakuwa na mafan. Hiza huko lakini zita mafan. So like, the same analogy, lakini hizo timu mbili ziko na wale mashabiki walizaliwa kwa hizo timu.
Yeah. Ukipeleka
hata waiangalia timu nyingine.
Yeah, ukipeleka
watu waifikiria timu nyingine. Hao watu ni like
mimi naangaliaga sofa
paka. Na sasa unaona kuna timu zingine kama Murang'a Seals. Murang'a Seals ukipeleka Mandera hakuna mtu anaenda hiyo game.
Haitapata mafan, lakini unaona Murang'a Seals.
Yeah.
Unaona Murang'a Seals huko Murang'a huko kwao.
Yeah, wana fans huko kwao.
Nao mafans wao wana travel nao, wanaenda nao, wanafuata hiyo
team. Very fanatic fans. Kwanza wao ndio wakali sana.
Yeah, so kuna hiyo tribalism yenye ukua, and that is why unapata the teams zenye za institution, zile teams za institution zenye zimesurvive kama Tusker Kenya, right? The reason why Tusker imesurvive na ikakuwa hivyo ni Tusker ilichukua mafans wote kama mafan, alafu the fact that ni team inaraniwa na ni timu ya kampuni. Timu za kampuni kitambo Kenya ilikuwa unafanya kazi huko ndio ucheze hiyo timu.
Sigara, polisi,
polisi nini, yes,
KCC.
So hizo ni timu ukiangalia fan base yao ilikuwa inakuja based on success. Tusker ikishinda ligi ilikuwa na mafan. Mafan wa FC wa Gor wale wenye wanapenda ushindi walikuwa nakimbia huko. Lakini FC na Gor ikifanya tu fiti kidogo, Tusker ina mafan, wamekimbia
wamerudi back to setting.
Unaona? So kulikuwa na hiyo aweze pata hivyo. Timu kama FC na Gor kila weekend kuna discussion mbona tumelimwa. Na wanataka majibu. Uende waambie mbona wamelimwa, mbona walichapwa leo. Like after game watabaki stadium wamekaa. Mtu muexplain mbona wamepigwa hii game. Au elewi mbona wamepigwa. Wanasema wanafaa kuwa like sisi ni wengi, tuko na pesa, tunafaa kushinda hii game.
Yeah.
Ai ball haribika kama nini.
Issue ni gani?
Yeah, so utapata ndo hiyo yenye umesema chairman atafuta coach haraka
ili survive.
Badala ya kunini, kwa sababu anajiprotect yeye mwenyewe, kwa sababu ukiangalia hizi club za kikabila ama za kutoka eneo fulani, chairmans wengi huingia kwa hizo club wakitafuta kiti ya kisiasa,
yes.
Kura,
yeah. So atajaribu mpaka akue mzuri, atafuta coach, atafanya nini akitengeneza career yake ya kisiasa, but anaribu mpira kwa sababu coach need continuity.
Yeah,
team haitoshinda kila siku.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it's a competition. You can never win every day.
My friend. Uko.
You can never, but people expect you to win every day, but you can never win every day. Once you accept that in life, unashindwa, maisha itakuwa rahisi sana.
Shida yangu nafikiri kwanza the loudest ni wale makocha wa WhatsApp unajua they never unajua hawajawahi kucheza,
Oh my God.
hawajawahi yani ni wale wa Wasafi FC ndio wanakuwa napiga kelele. But there's something ambayo nafikiri tumegusa na hii, if for us to build a good great national team lazima tuanzie kwenye clubs. Unajua clubs lazima ziwe katika namna nzuri, kwa kuna mfumo mzuri. You know, and mimi naangalia sana, nafikiri naangalia KPL probably more than any of you.
True story.
Naangalia KPL sana, and sometimes naangalia stadium. Mazee, unajua kuna siku moja nilikuwa naangalia mechi, ulipigwa mpira kwenye uwanja, ule mpira ulibounce sehemu ikawa kama vile ni assist, yani umegonga sehemu, and I'm like hii mtu anaweza akavunja mguu, you know. So you look at hata hivyo viwanja unaangalia, you're like hapa pote hakuna majani, hapa pote. Tanzania naweza nikatafuta clips, kuna kipindi mpaka aliacha literally usingeweza hata kudribble kwa sababu uwanja umejaa maji.
Uwanja huko ni huko level
Kwa hiyo unaona uwanja uko level, uwanja umejaa maji, sehemu ambapo goalkeeper akidondoka hivi unaona kama vile kwa bathtub. Unaona? Kwa sababu ya vitu kama hivyo. Kwa hiyo uwanja ni kitu cha kwanza. Lakini pia nikiangalia championship. Mwaka uliopita nimeangalia sana championship. Ukiangalia the way wale fans au hata kwenye Premier League, timu ambayo tayari imeshakuwa relegated. Lakini wanakwenda wanacheza na wanajaza uwanja, na si kama wanacheza na Manchester City. Watu wamevaa uniform, wamevaa jezi zao, nini wanashangilia na wana membership za miaka na miaka.
Correct.
By the way, hizo club ndogo,
tribalism.
Hizo club ndogo, unajua stadium, yani nyumba, kuna mtu yani akivuka barabara anaingia ndani ya stadium hapo. Iko surrounded, iko within the community.
Unajua nini? Unajua kitu moja, I think kitu moja tumesahau ni inception of African football ilikuwa imesetiwa at a very perfect way. Ni sisi ndo tuliharibu. Tuangalie example ya Kenya, right? Kulikuwa na Gor, kulikuwa na FC. Hizi zilikuwa ni sports club za watu wenye wako Nairobi, kutoka hizi kabila mbili waliform clubs, ndio?
Correct.
But then kulikuwa na reunion which ilikuwa inaitwa Luo Union. Ilikuwa ya Jaluo huko kwao.
Yes.
Kulikuwa na Rivertex ya Meru. Ilikuwa ya imetengenezwa na Bata, timu ya Bata. No, Rivertex ilikuwa Eldoret, ile ya kutengeneza blanketi.
Bata ilikuwa na
walikuwa na timu yao Limuru.
Bata ni wale wa Santos.
Walikuwa
Bata Bullets.
Bata Bullets ya
kulikuwa na Bata Bullets ya Limuru,
ambayo pia walikuwa na moja na Malawi, I think. Bata Bullets.
Unaona,
Malawi pia walikuwa na Bata Bullets.
Unaona hizi team, these institutions were smart. Kulikuwa na KPA ilikuwa Mombasa. Hiyo ilikuwa timu ya Mombasa. Ilikuwa inaitwa Bandari. Unaona, so kulikuwa na, as much as the institutional, they were trying to give them
identity,
a tribe to sit in. They recognize your team. So the setup was perfect. Ni somewhere down the line vile tulikam tukagundua hii mpira inazingiana na siasa ndo tuliharibu.
Iliharibika kabisa. Kama kina Sam Nyamoya.
Hapo ndo pale mpira iliharibu, na sasa clubs zikakuwa sasa kusustain ligi, club kama zote zikahamia Nairobi because it was easier to get funds and it was easier to operate bila traveling expenses.
Shabana.
Lakini kumbuka hata before kina Sam Nyamoya kulikuwa gana kina Peter Kenneth. Kumbuka Peter Kenneth pia alikuwa FKF chair. And at that time, I think hiyo ndo time watu walianza kuingiza siasa ndani ya ball. Because
even Peter Kenneth alikuja after Nyamoya.
Remember Omino was there?
No, wait. Was Peter Kenneth after Nyamoya? I think Peter Kenneth was before. See, Peter Kenneth alikuwa kule 90s. I think Peter Kenneth alikuwa before.
No, Nyamoya alikuja lava akatoka lava akarudi.
Sasa sema labda hivyo. And then kulikuwa na ule wa Coca-Cola. I can't remember his name. I think alikuwa anaitwa Ndwati or something. Nao wote walikuwa watu ambao wanajaribu kuingia katika siasa. And then you see that the problem pia nimeona katika boli ya Kenya is our wanasiasa, kila mtu akona ka tournament kake. Ati sijui
Correct.
Moses Kuria tournament.
But
No, tournaments are good.
Kipchumba Murkomen tournament.
There's a game with that tournament, right?
Yeah, there's a catch.
That tournament is basically supposed to bring your people together. It's also your way for you to reach out to them or to make them feel like you're actually giving them something.
You're giving them something.
Without you giving them quite a bit. Because you get sponsors. They sponsor uniforms,
you also
blah, blah, and all of
realize
those stuff.
that you also have to realize that Kenyans love sports.
Yes.
Right? And football to Kenya is a united thing. Like people, ukienda ushago weke tona hapo, watu watakam.
Every December tuko na tona. Uliza Mika. Every December kuna tona.
So the thing is, football is a communal. As I said, it's a tribal thing. It's a communal thing. Like tunapenda sports. There's a reason why games are Harambee Stars huja. There's a reason why rugby itajaa Nairobi. There's a reason why mbio itajaa Nairobi. As in, Kenyans are proud. And that proud imekuja from a small communal thing from the thing is, as a country we have never lost our family values. So we do understand and appreciate community. And we take sports as a way of the community building up together. Actually, not sports, anything cultural. We take it as a way of communities getting together. That's why unaonanga matangazo yetu, arusi, rurashio, nini kwenye vitu za community. Hakunanga vitu like we are not an individualistic society.
Pre-wedding.
Zote, we are not an individualistic society. So imekam kwa kila kitu yote mpaka hata kwa sherehe na starehe. Si ufanya vitu pamoja, tufanyangi vitu kivyetu. So sports is something that we usually see as something for the community to get together. Ukieka tona, watu watakam. Regardless of iko wapi, watu watakam. So if we can take advantage of that, we know that there's that appetite for the sports. Then we need to take advantage of that and do the development of that sport so that we can sustain a way of building it. Like, we complain about unemployment, but then things that create employment like sports, culture, we don't nurture them. We don't invest in them. We don't try. Tunakwanga unaona tulifuata isho speed tukamkimbilia tukamfanya nini? Lakini mtu wa Kenya akistream tunamtukana. Content creator wa Kenya tunaitwa majina. Tunamwambia sijui na nini, like literally. Huku nje unasifu unasifu content creators wa America, content creator wa Kenya akifanya kitu tunamtukana, unamwambia tu jamaa anajaribu ana fake aishi sijui nini, like literally the same support yenye tunapea mtu nje tungepea mtu kwetu angegrow.
But labda na mimi hapo nichangie hapo, acha niweke neno. So inakuja kwenye swali la kwanza ulimuuliza Moshi, na Moshi akazungumzia kuhusiana na style ya kutangaza. And now I can find out kuna watu wengi sana Marekani actually wameweza kufuatilia soka. Kwanza sisi tunaifahamu soka kuliko watu wengi hapa, na kuna namna ambavyo you have to transition. Kwa hiyo bado ninafikiri kwa mtu kutoka nje tunaona Fox hawajafanya vizuri. Kwa Marekani ambaye hajui kabisa kuhusu soka, this was the closest they could bring them. So this was like not coming from the extreme left to extreme right. Unajua, na kuna watu wengi ambao walikuwa hawajui. Kuna mtu yani nimeshangaa mnaambia kwamba umeshakumsikia mtu anaitwa Haaland anataka kunisimulia kuhusiana na Haaland. And I'm like,
because they're so amazed.
But no, lakini mara ya kwanza amemsikia, alafu alisikia baadhi ya stats and everything. Okay. So I think kweli kama Fox kwa mara ya kwanza this is like unajaribu kumconvert mtu na hutaki kumkaririsha na mambo yote makubwa ya other side. So slowly na lazima pia I feel kwamba unamjaza na kile ambacho anakifahamu. Unajua? So I feel like kwao kama wangetoka extremely kutoka hapa alafu wakaenda kwenye wakina Vandi wale ambao wanafanya Uingereza kule. Hii ingekuwa kama vile unamfundisha mtu kwa mara ya kwanza Kiingereza and the first thing unampa ni dictionary aanze kumemorize vocabularies. Unajua? Ingekuwa changamoto. Kwa hiyo naona hilo kwenye mambo kadhaa hata kwenye haya mambo yanayokuja, amezungumza Mika kuhusiana na wakina Aisha Speed, unajua nafikiri changamoto yangu ni kwamba ni vizuri kama watatumia hata ma content creator. Tatizo ni pale ambapo naona content creator wa kwetu anaigiza kutengeneza content ya Marekani.
Okay.
Umenielewa?
Yeah.
Yani nikamkuta kuna mtu kabisa wa Murima, alafu baadaye anajaribu kuniambia ile Baltimore, alafu hata Baltimore hata ara amekosea. Na angeweza kusema Baltimore, angesema vizuri. Yeah. Anakwenda na swag, alafu unakuja unaniambia Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Hiyo ni nini?
Kama
harmonize. Kwa hiyo changamoto nafikiri ipo hapo kwamba I think to a genuine, because that's the reality, kwamba nafikiri kwa Aisha Speed ni kama ni ID yake ametengeneza, ni brand yake, ndivyo alivyo, unajua. Kwa hiyo kwa watu ambao wangeweza kufanya hivyo, maybe hatuna vitu vingi vya kufanya nyumbani, lakini ukijaribu kufanya kila ambacho anakifanya Aisha alafu kafanya kwa mazingira ya nyumbani alafu kisimatch, unajua, inaweza ikawa changamoto, kama ambavyo kuna baadhi ya watu nafikiri nimesikia natengeneza movie moja kali tu, I think ya Bob Marley, alafu inatengenezewa nyumbani, unajua. And you wonder, sisi ambao tumeshaangalia movies kama za kina Michael au kina Bob Marley au kina nani, zile yale maelezo kuanzia ambavyo wameweza kuact na zile sehemu, kama alifanya concert sehemu akaenda, and you're like, kama hii movie inatengenezewa Bukoba na tunajua the guy never stepped mguu hapa, unajua, then kwa nini tusitengeneze ya msanii wa hapa ambaye hata kama mna act kwamba alikwenda akaperform Nyayo, akatoka hapo akaenda akaperform sijui Kasarani akafanya hivi. Lakini kama utatengeneza movie ya James sio movie, unataka kutengeneza maisha ya Denzel Washington, alafu uende ukayacheze Bukoba ambako hajawahi kufika, unajua, kidogo itakuwa nguvu. Kwa hiyo nafikiri hapo ambapo kidogo hata kwenye matangazo, so somehow kwa watu naona kama vile matangazo ni kama level, just like anything else. Iwe kwenye mahubiri, iwe kwenye nyimbo, iwe kwenye performance aina yoyote ile. Wewe leo hii Omosh, wewe unaweza ukaenda kama kuna mashindano ya ma DJ pale, wewe utaangalia totally different na Ali ambaye labda hajawahi, kwa sababu utaanza kuangalia amesync vipi, amefanya vipi, hizi najua hizi nyimbo zina tempo tofauti, but the fact kwamba ameweza kuzimachisha hapo, this is where the skill is. Kwa mtu ambaye hata hajui BPM, unajua, itaenda imekata tunapata shida hata kwenye picha, you know, ambapo sometimes you're like, hii ni picha ya harusi, all I want, nataka nipate focus kwenye pete, alafu sehemu nyingine zote nina blur. Mtu anakwambia hii mbona picha haionekani vizuri? Umenielewa? So kuna baadhi ya vitu ambavyo I guess kuna levels ambazo tunatakiwa kuwepo.
But unaona kama watu South Africans are very good at localizing their content. Sasa sijui kama niseme ni kwa sababu labda wao wasafiri sana manini. Unaona kama hii movie yao, hii Polygamist, it's being watched all over the world.
Unajua nikisema hivi sisemi about content yenye watu wana copy, nasema about original content. Like literally we have a thing of whereby we don't appreciate things that come from our own.
No, that's true.
Well, anyway, hata sisi kwenye hii show unaona kuna watu wengine mnaweza mkawa na mambo mazuri mnazungumza na watu watapass by.
No, ni kweli.
Kuna baadhi ya vitu I get you, Mika, what you're saying, kwa sababu nakumbuka kama kipindi kile cha what bill ambayo ilikuwa broken down, you know, finance bill hapa ilikuwa broken down, alafu nasikia watu wanazungumza kitu kuhusiana na wanamquote mtu mwingine, I'm like, but we did that tena even deeper than that person. So
no, ni kweli. Unajua hiyo hapo mkiwa mmekurubiana sana, kuna ile mazoea watu wanachukulia poa. You know, like watu wanaona unaweza kuata una offer service fulani ambao una offer vizuri. Una kwa mfano Bandio anaweza kuwa labda anajua is very good at live streaming events, but mtu akaona badala ya kumpa hii kazi Bandio kuna mzungu fulani, wacha hata Nigeria, sometimes labda hata mzungu fulani ambaye atamlipisha maybe like 3-4 times the amount, lakini yuko radhi aende kwake. Unajua ni weakness moja kubwa sana ambao tuko nao kama Afrika, which I think we need to figure out a way, and I think it's a legacy of colonialism. It's a legacy of colonialism ambao kwamba tunafaa tujifunze tuondoke. Ukiangalia ndugu zetu ambao hawakuwa colonized kama Ethiopians, they do business together. They do not fear, you know, like paying each other and buying from each other na nini. Sasa hapo ndo pali itabidi tuanze kujifunza. And you know, like I was also saying, you know, like unaona kama South Africans, they have, you know, like a lot of local, I mean, right now I know South Africa is in the media for all the wrong reasons, and of course kuna issues going on in South Africa at the moment. But ukiangalia kama yo, mimi sija watch hata hiyo Polygamist, but I've heard everything about it from everyone. I haven't even watched it yet, but you can tell because I've watched so many other South African movies on Netflix that it's very highly local content. Hapa kulikuwa na comment that was coming from Mindy B anapenda US men's national team. Where?
And then, Ali, the thing is, tying all this conversation back to the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
So, the thing is, the diasporization of sports is going to happen because it happens right now in the NBA, in the NFL. We are seeing names in the NFL right now. We are seeing a lot of West African names, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the NBA. We are seeing a mix, as in the world is a global village, which is something very good, and this is what the World Cup represents, right? The togetherness, the harmoniness of people coming back to get people being together, bringing it. Like we've seen headlines about Iran, about wars, they've vanished. Everybody's just talking about the World Cup.
I know.
Yeah. So it's bringing harmony and peace back into the world. Now, I want to bring us back again into the World Cup and talk about. We've spoken about a lot, but my oh my, this has been an amazing World Cup, and we have had some breathtaking moments for this World Cup, right? And honestly, I think it's about time we start celebrating things that we've seen in this World Cup and we've just been amazed. Like, I don't know, sijui aluta tuanzishio tuambie nini wewe umeone ya maana kwa hii World Cup, because mimi naweza sema vitu kama 20 ni wakati yenye wote msiseme kitu yenye mmeone ya maana, but I think it's about time we start talking about the highlights of this World Cup.
As we wrap this up, wacha tuanze na Ali.
Yeah, me by highlight has been Cabo Verde. I mean, this is a team that they just refused to die. And they were playing with this mentality of kama mbaya mbaya. To me, they just were maybe slightly unlucky, I'm gonna say. But to me, Cabo Verde, that will be the team of the tournament for me. Plus their 40-year goalkeeper. That's just a story that you do not see every day. And of course, it was one of those teams. There was someone, I can't remember who it was, who was expecting them to be beaten like 6 or 7-0 by Spain. And then they went and surprised Spain. Cabo Verde, actually, the way they were set up, I feel like they could almost take on any team. So, yeah, to me, Cabo Verde was the highlight of the tournament. And then, of course, Kylian Mbappe. My goodness, that guy, it's like he comes from a whole other different planet. But let's wait and see. Kuna watu wanasema Messi ndo atakuwa top scorer. I think Kylian Mbappe, by the time this World Cup is over, atakuwa amefunga bao zingine nyingi sana. Almost.
Wewe unasoma post yangu ya Instagram, eh? Okay. Wewe unasoma what I wrote kwa Instagram, sawa?
Hapana, hiyo labda wewe ndo ulihack nini yangu. Ulihack akili yangu. Yeah, ukaenda ukapost kwa Instagram. Almost.
Interesting. This World Cup has kept us on our toes, eh? I think the World Cup of Qatar, for me, I think iliingia at a very interesting time because it was December.
It was COVID, yeah. It was December.
2022, December. So I missed a lot of games because I happened to be in Kenya.
Yeah.
Though at the time when I was now heading into Kenya, it was going to, I think we were at quarters. France walicheza. What was that game? Because I remember sitting and watching a game with a lot of guys who were with in Bora.
Yeah.
But now coming back to this particular World Cup, I think I watched most games. Maybe I may have, if if I probably missed like 1 or 2 games here and there. And it would have been like those late games, Zile's Ukoma midnight, or maybe the early game.
Midnight, that's like Kenyan time.
No, midnight here. Because remember,
because games hapa zilikuwa zinaanza 6 asubuhi.
No, there were some games that were played at midnight. Remember the ones that were being playing it in Canada.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, you're talking about this World Cup.
This World Cup.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, but in terms of timing, it's actually it was perfect. You know, I think the first games for the early games were like around midday in the East Coast.
Yeah.
So, you know, and we were doing like 3 or 4 games. We're going on till 10 o'clock at night. So I watched all those games, you know. So Africa as a whole was a plus for me, performance-wise. When you're looking at the big picture and the scale, they did very well, according to me. And again, this is based upon what we know of Africa and their federations and how they do with their players and not paying money. I don't know, sijui nini. Saa zingine hata hawa masters ndio wanatoa, you know, wanalipia mateam chakula and things like that. You know, some of them had to protest to get paid, you know, before they even went into the field. You know, I think Ghana or whatever. But I mean, some of those are just like those things. But to me, Africa was highlight a plus for me. The team that surprised me, and maybe somebody might say, Moshi wewe kwani you don't know ball. Norway surprised me because for me, Norway and Haaland, okay, yes, Haaland is there. We all know what Haaland does. But one chap does not make the team. And in the case of Norway, it's not him making the team. It's a team that's making him better. So he's just part of the cog. He's part of the cog on the wheel that is making that team churn. And we'll see, you know, what's going to happen. But those guys, to me, have been a surprise for me. DRC was, to me, a highlight. A big highlight. I know we're all talking about Cabo Verde because it's like one of those teams that we never heard of or we had not seen them in action or whatever the case may be. But to me, DRC, awase walikuja, walifanya job, and they could have gone further if you ask me. But sometimes pia unapata ile team, you know, and it's, you know, like that last mile for the African team seems to have been the problem. Now, whether it was a nutrition, exhaustion, weather, you know, sustaining yourself, or on just because you've never been there before, and you're winning against a big team, you don't know how to handle the press or how to handle EO, because them they want it, they're thirsty, they're going for it. Na wewe, instead of kukanyagia unasema tuko hapa, I'm not gonna step on the throat, you know. And that's the time when you're supposed to do what? Step on the throat, because kina Cristiano Ronaldo are not letting you go. You saw the first game, he was frustrated. After that, the Jama found sijini gia gani alipata, and those Jamas were working hard to make sure he gets the ball, but he was also making himself get to those points where he was getting the ball and going for it. So, because this is it. This was his last one, you know. And look at Messi. Look at what he's doing. Yeah. Who thought? We didn't see it coming.
Messi might come back again.
No, there is no way.
Not. How old is he? He's 38.
He's 39.
Is he coming as a midfielder?
And then not only that, I think this with quest ya kutaka kuchukua World Cup this time, he's been used and abused. And I think after this, he's going to need a long rest. The way he played. And I think it was Thierry Henry who say that if you want to win, sometimes you have to pick somebody to run to. You're going to make him look better, but that's the only chance you have to win. Right? Yeah. And that's what with him. He make people, you know, he assists and do that. But there's a time I was like, all right, man, just go do your thing. This is like back in the days where wakati wanasema if you can find the place to pass the ball, give it to Zidane. Hata kama yuko katikati watu wanane. He'll find a way to do something at least. Correct. And then, so this is why I think after this World Cup, I hope what
I don't think
he will need to.
I don't think
I know hataweza kuja for the next one. He'll be 43 or something. But
you know, a guy who could surprise you and have him come back atachaguliwa the Ronaldo, as crazy as that may sound, because
but Ronaldo he's already 40
41
and you see
No, Ronaldo alisema ameretire.
Amesema ameretire. We've had these stories before.
No, but Ronaldo is not coming back.
Correct. But he's again, when you look at those players, they're unique because
Ronaldo is not coming back. Almost, unajua kitu moja, wacha nikwambie kitu moja. I usually tell Ronaldo na Messi fans, right? You guys oversell or overvalue these players to a point whereby penye new wanga mna predict life yao pali hao wenyewe hawajafikiria kufika. Like, man, the dude said he's retired. Wacha enjoy maisha yake na Georgina bana. He has a beautiful wife, he has money, and he has kids.
Nick, I'm not doubting it. I just said do not be surprised. That's what I said. I am not doubting it.
Let me ask you a question. When has Ronaldo ever walked back his decision?
I don't know.
He has never.
I don't know. I'm actually not a Ronaldo fan. I'm just saying that.
Okay, I'm not
a Ronaldo fan.
Nakwambia, you're not a Ronaldo fan, but una predict maisha yake. Na yasha kwambia. He has never walked back on something he said before. Why should he start
Mika,
right
you
now?
realize it was my thoughts, right?
and I'm telling you, I thought
you realize, So that's
and
yours, and this one is mine. Yes, that was my moment for me to say what my predictions or whatever it was.
Kama unasema ni kama vile Roger Miller watu wako expect arudi tena World Cup.
But he was 41.
He was 40 something, yeah.
40. He wasn't even 45, I think. Roger Miller.
No, I don't think
and we don't know
45.
what his real age was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
ile ni football age.
But again, we go back to the same thing that.
But anyway, I was just saying what I thought was surprising here and there, and I like I said, DRC. For me, they were the surprise team for me. But Norway is the one that I'm like, wow. And maybe there are people who expected it, but for me, Norway is wow.
But their story ends tomorrow.
Actually,
I'm not sure.
I am.
You know, the thing is this.
Yeah.
The thing is this. What most people don't realize about Norway, right? Norway, nika Morocco. Na nika DRC yenye Umosha nasema, you know those silent killers.
I see them more kama Japan. Yani hawana mtu, yani kuna
no but you what are you? Those silent killer teams hawakukuja na fanfare.
Yeah,
they did their work pole tu pa wakikuja, right? Ukiangalia Norway, when you start looking at them, ama Morocco, when you look at the records and stats, no na realize hii team ni kali. Hawajashindwa sijui game ngapi. Haaland amefunga for the last consecutive sijui 40 ngapi games. Wameshinda game ngapi zao zote. Like when you look at the stats, you realize this team is actually,
they're scary.
Was doing something here. But on paper, hawafikiri cause hawana fanfare. Hawana majina sijui zinafanya nini.
Alafu kuna team kama Netherlands. Wana fanfare kubwa kuliko ubora wa team.
Yeah, so the thing is,
the Orange Nation.
When if you're somebody who watches ball na analyze ball, ukiangalia Norway utasema any team yenye naweza iconsider. Now their game with England, vile bandia amesema, is a toss up. England on paper looks good, wanaweza washinda, but man,
Norway wana kama moyo fulani hivi. Those Vikings, my friend.
Wakiweka tu ile nini ile roho.
So I think kwa mimi kwanza maisha yangu shule yote nimeplay as a goalie, and kuona some of the saves ambazo zilitokea katika hii. And I'm not talking about saves. Kuna baadhi ya vitu ambavyo if you play soccer you get to appreciate more baadhi ya watu. Unapomwangalia mtu kama Courtois, unapomwangalia mtu kama Martinez, ambao they're very tall, but how quick they can get to the ground.
Bono.
Na hiyo na hiyo ni kati ya vitu ambavyo some of the saves ambazo zimefanyika, nafikiri kwa mtu ambaye hujawahi kucheza you may not appreciate, but how
especially
quick,
in that position. Guys who haven't played goalie don't understand.
Kwa sababu mazoezi ya kuanguka That's like how quick you can do that. Yes. Mazoezi ni kati ya mazoezi magumu, and I've seen some saves hapo, you're like, okay.
Na hiyo instinct yani ya kujua
asa kuna moja amefanya Martinez, I think the last game, kuna mpira ulipigwa tu, it was like I felt like nilikuwa naangalia boxing, was like jab, double jab, was like I mean, nimesikia mpira umepigwa, nimesikia mpira umezuiwa kwa mkono, and it was just so quick. Kwa hiyo nafikiri kumekuwa na maendeleo sana. You can tell kwamba mpira, as much as baadhi ya watu they complain kwamba ni kama vile unapoteza kwa sababu ya teknolojia, lakini hao wamefikia kiwango cha sasa kuanza kujua watu wanakimbia kiasi gani, hizo vest na nini, technologically imeweza imefanya watu wameustadi mchezo ambao sasa hivi naanza kuona sasa unaelekea hata katika teknolojia ambayo inatumika kama Marekani. So don't be surprised ukianza kuona hata hizi allocations za timu ukisikia sasa hivi, unaona kama hapa Marekani unaweza kuta timu inaweza ikawa iko hapa lakini ikajitoa kwenye Big 10 ikaingia kwenye I will not be surprised kwa mtu kama Morocco akaondoka sasa akaenda kucheza na Arab huko, kwa sababu ya namna ambavyo walianza na VAR, wameanza kuna baadhi ya vitu ambavyo nafikiri to further competition wanaweza wakaruhusu. Kutakuwa na restriction maybe, lakini records, unajua kupata zaidi ya wachezaji watatu wanafunga over 7 goals, na probably there will be more, kwa sababu Kane anaweza kaongeza, you know. Kwa hiyo tunaweza kupata multiple, unaweza kufika
Mbappe ataongeza,
kupata timu kama Argentina ambayo imefunga multiple goals consecutively kwenye mechi karibu 11, you know, that's that. Ukiangalia ile kiatu cha dhahabu golden boot pale, wote wana magoli sawa, lakini kuna mmoja ana goli na assist nyingi anaongoza. Kuna mwingine Mbappe ana goals nyingi kwenye shorter period, unajua. So sasa hivi inafanya watu pia waanze kujua zaidi,
and the round of 32 is helping with those numbers as well, because you played extra.
You played extra games, you know, because previously kulikuwa kuna round of 32.
Yes, kwa hiyo kuna hilo, and then imekuja swala la sasa hivi, which made me feel like kuanza ukiwa bench doesn't necessarily mean that you are not a good person, kwa sababu ukiangalia how many goals has been scored na watu ambao wamekuja as substitutes.
Angalia ule wa leo.
Na unaangalia mtu kama Lukaku, almost kila wakati anaanzia na anakuwa ni kwa sababu ukiangalia Lukaku ana kama coach mentality. Ni yule mtu ambaye anaweza kakaa nje akausoma mchezo, akiingia anakuwa na bigger impact kuliko ukimwanzisha akausomea akiwa ndani. And the guy akiingia tu anakuwa captain. So that tells you kwamba quality ya sasa hivi mchezo tena si ile kwamba ukitolewa, unajua. The other thing ambayo kwangu mimi was very very cool ni kuona Japan wakisafisha baada ya mechi. Ile ya kuondoa trash. That was
their
win or lose. As much as
win or lose.
And they've been doing it. It's not like they are.
So that's the thing, as much as tulienjoy kuona watu kutoka Uingereza na kutoka Ulaya wanashangaa kuhusu Marekani, it felt so good kuangalia Marekani wakishangaa wa Japan wamemaliza game, wame lose game, alafu wanaanza kufanya usafi.
I know.
Na kwa mimi nafikiri huu mchezo ukiacha siasa na yale yaliyotokea kwa Iran kwamba lazima wa travel au kuna muda kurecover na mambo kama hayo, ukiacha na mambo ambavyo siasa iliingia katika hii michezo, nafikiri ndani ya soka yenyewe, and that's why kwangu mimi I don't care kusema kwa nini fulani anashabikia kitu fulani, kwa sababu wale wachezaji ukiangalia wanavyocheza, yes kuna baadhi ya, you know, Uruguay na France kulikuwa kuna some bad blood, lakini sportsmanship ambayo imeonekana pia katika michezo hii kwangu mimi nafikiri imekuwa katika kiwango fulani. Umeangalia mechi ya leo, almost achana na Korea Kusini, wale hata kupiga kofi anakuja na kuomba msamaha lakini hata ukiangalia mechi ya leo wakati wanacheza, it's like almost foul zote watu walikuwa wanakwenda nyanyuana, hata kama mtu amepewa yellow,
respect.
Respect ilikuwa pale. Hata tulivyoona nafikiri ilikuwa ni mechi gani ambapo literally Neymar alikuwa amemtarget sana, was that Odegaard, you know. Ulikuwa ukiangalia baadhi ya vitu wamefanyia, lakini at the end of it ukaona kama vile wamekubaliana. Kwa hiyo kuna vitu vingi sana ambavyo historically nafikiri watu watabaki kuvikumbuka katika michuano hii. Na yes, kulikuwa kuna team kama Cape Verde, even though I believe kama mwae kucheza soka utagundua kwamba kitu nguzo kubwa walikuwa na Cape Verde ni kwamba walikuwa unknown, almost unknown. Kwa hiyo watu hawakujua nini cha kutegemea, you know. Kwa hiyo alikuwa ni mtu mpya amekuja, lakini si kwamba kocha wao alikuwa na uwezo mkubwa sana wa kubadilika. No, wale ni wachezaji ambao walijua kwa nini wako hapa. Tuko hapa kwa ajili ya kupambana, sisi ni underdog, we have nothing to lose, you know.
Let's go for it.
Lakini wachezaji wenye umri mkubwa ambao wamekuwepo hapa na kuonyesha kwamba, kwa hiyo kidogo imeonyesha kwamba kuna extension pia ya zamani. Yes, watu walikuwa naanza kucheza soka wakiwa na umri mkubwa, lakini tumeona kwamba kuna watu ambao wameweza kusustain kwa muda mrefu. So kwako Mika,
Haya. Mika's gone.
Mika's gone. Wahenga wanasemaje?
Ala, amelala.
Mika I think amelala. Sijui
Nimelala.
Yupo.
Go ahead,
Niko nilikuwa nasikia hiyo inaitwaje bandio akidrop wisdom hapo. Anyway, mimi sitasema vitu wanamai kusema juu wahenga. Lakini I want to thank everybody who showed up today, everybody who lined up with us today. It's a nice tournament. Man, kama unaweza pata chance ya kwenda kwa stadium, if you're in LA, if you're in Dallas, if you're in Jersey for the next game, and hiyo ingine iko wapi? Kuna game
There's Atlanta also. Atlanta is on the 15th.
Atlanta kesho. Kuna
Atlanta 10 on the 15th.
Okay. So yeah, if you can go to LA, Atlanta, and then Jersey, kuna hiyo gaming. There's one more game, I think. Yeah, third place. If
Philly doesn't have another game? Or was it Boston?
Boston sidhani, sijui. I don't know where it is. But if there's still a game near you, go try the box office. You can get a good ticket and go watch it. Na kama hizi box office ingia Fan Fest, enjoy the game. Take advantage of it. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Enjoy kabisa. And then all in all,
tufungie kabisa manake wanga wameshanena kutoka mlima.
Yeah, you can funga.
Yeah, so it's summertime. Kuna super diarrhea. Chunga what you're buying on your grocery stores. Wash it. Take care of yourself. Then remember, still, don't drink and drive. Have fun. And as we wait for the year to end, remember watu wakue kadi. Tuko kadi, Mambo ni one tap. Anyway. Kwaherini, enjoy yourself.
Almost fire.
Sawa Bikasi. Mi nilikuwa nafikiri nimemaliza lakini naweza maliza. Asante wachangiaji, watu wetu, mashabik, our peeps. Thanks once again for staying with us through this. I know WC for some people like I don't even know football. Yani munaongea, but this is what has been capturing us for the last month. So, tupende tusipende, it has held us hapa. Some of us have not moved. You and the TV become one. But yes, it's summertime. And for those who don't know, like Ali is over here, look at me because he doesn't know. Kesho kuna cookout, ile cookout ya Wakenya.
Oh, yeah, in Baltimore.
In Baltimore, yes. And it's normally, there's about... I'd say anywhere from 600 to 1,000 Kenyans who come, and they come from as far down south as, I wouldn't even say Atlanta, maybe I say North Carolina, and from as far up north as
Vancouver,
Boston. So, and in between, people come, and over the years, it's been getting nini. So it's just a day of coming, hanging out with other Kenyans, kusherekea. The food is free. There's vendors. There's different people who are doing all sorts of different things.
Na address?
It's gonna be at what's that park?
Gunpowder.
Ile park watu lipa kule Baltimore. Ni
Gunpowder. I think it's gunpowder or powder mill. There's a powder. There's a powder.
It's a state park
location
where you pay for. I don't have the fly information.
Where utatuma baadaye tule tu.
But me, I'll be there. So yes, and normally the men of Baltimore come together. They buy mbuzi and go a cow, blah blah blah. Normally go through at least like 20 of them. It's very interesting. They go through about 20 mbuzis feeding people. Yes. Uliza one mic. But remember, we had the guy here on the show, Alan.
Yeah.
Last year, I think we had him on the show.
It was last year.
Yeah, we had him on the show last year. And, those are some of the numbers. And they've been doing it for years. So it's a good time for you to come out, enjoy. There's going to be a lot of vendors, Kenyans selling all sorts of different things. Of course, other than the bracelets, then all other Kenyan type of stuff, So what
tutaleta matumbo na njaa.
There might even be matumbo. With that said, we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy. Be safe. and enjoy the weather. I think you'll have to dodge a couple of rain pellets here and there, lakini tuko sawa hapa East Coast.
Kwa ufupi kutanyesha.
Yeah, kunyesha, I think it's like siku hizi it's like a thing. You just have to be ready
with an umbrella.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Kwanza tuanze na conference KNNA.
Yes. Proudly brought to you by Kenya Nurses Association of America. They have an event on September 17th to the 19th, big conference. So the details are on the screen. Make sure you're going to be in Baltimore, Maryland, because this is going to be in at the Sheraton Baltimore North Hotel, 903 Dulaney Valley Road, Towson, Maryland, 21204. And then there's a gala night on Saturday. For those who just want to come in on Saturday, there will be a gala night on Saturday. So make sure you get your registration. You can Zelle info@kenyannursesusa.org, or you can send an email at info@kenyannursesusa.org. So make sure you tell your friend who's a nurse, or you also make your way to Baltimore that particular weekend. Na kwa hayo machache, I want to thank everybody who was tuned in, and we're going to be back again next week kama kawa. We might go back to our topic ya going back home, because one of our people is back in the US, but we'll tell you, we'll announce that in due time. Na kwa hayo machache, yote ambaye anataka kunipigia simu, nambari yangu bado ni ile 1-800 mteule, na operator kishika simu, mwambie unataka kusema na mjukuu, na akikuuliza ni mjukuu yupi, unamkumbusha ni mjukuu yule wa Masai, because I'm Kenyan by blood, American by design, Masai by choice. Sichagui, sikagui na sibagui. Kwaherini.
Asante sana kwa kuwa nasi, asante kwa kuangalia, asante kwa kujiunga nasi. Shukrani kwa One Mic, najua kwa aliko anakula bata mpaka kukuwa naona wivu. Ndo msemo. So all right, mwana weekend njema. See you next week. Bye bye.